And there we are. All right. So welcome, everybody. It's halfway through 2026, and the tide is turning. After years of hype around fake meats, ultra-processed powders, and plant-based everything, people are waking up and heading back to the butcher counter. That's our theme tonight. Red meat is trending again, and I'm going to share a couple articles. That's the basis for this theme, is a couple articles I read tonight in preparation for tonight's Carnivore Talk. Also, beef tallow is making a massive revival, and saturated fats are no longer the villains that we were told they are. I'm hearing an echo.
Yeah, that was me.
All right. Very good. So anyway, welcome to Carnivore Talk, everyone. We're going to take a deep dive into the anti-fake meat movement tonight, and we're inviting all of you to join our cause. If you are anti-fake meat, let me know in the comments. So
I'm anti everything fake.
Right.
I don't like fake meat. I don't like fake foods. I don't like fake people.
That's a good way to put it. So yeah, that's fake meat. You know, plant-based meat is on a downward trend. These companies are going bankrupt, and carnivore, keto, and ancestral health, of course, is on the rise. And so is the popularity of fatty cuts, juicy ribeyes, and tallow for cooking. And so that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And I'll share those articles later. Now, this is Monday night. And so with Monday night, this is our casual get-together where you're more than welcome to join us on the screen. And you can join us on the screen. That doesn't matter if you're keto, carnivore, ketovore, standard American diet, just have some questions. We'd be happy to entertain you. So to do that, you just have to click the link that's posted and pinned on Facebook. And if you're watching from, I'm sorry, did I say Facebook? On YouTube. It's pinned on YouTube. If you're watching from Facebook, here it comes now. I can't share it until I actually get the stream started. You can click that link and you can join us there. If you are watching from Rumble, which I'm surprised we're actually getting a fairly decent amount of views over there, you're more than welcome to join also. And just to make sure that's the real John Laspina, wave for me. All right, very good. So now we'd like to invite the Carnivore Teacher Alpha to the screen. How are you, John? It's nice to meet you.
I'm good, and I've got multiple things going on. I got to figure out how to stop them all.
Oh, that's okay. Take your time. All right. So, yes, you can join John. You can join myself and Jeff on the screen. You should go ahead and click that StreamYard link, and we'll have ourselves a nice conversation, and we'll turn our attention to the chat here in just a moment. You got everything figured out there, John?
I got to go out and come back in.
Okay. All right. I'll be watching for you. All right. While he does that, let's go ahead and say hi over to individuals who are coming into the chat.
Am I still in?
You are still in. So
all right, I'm good. I figured out how to. I had to delete the YouTube, so it wasn't.
Yeah. You got to mute or close the YouTube.
Right.
Yeah, or else you'll hear like an echo.
Yeah, I was watching you first, and then I clicked your link, and then you were on in two spots.
Right.
It seems the whiter the hair, the more ignorant we are about this.
There you go. Stuff. I think you're right.
I sit there and was videoing I did a video today. I was gonna do a talk about how we should transition into carnivore slower, and I was using an example of my animals and how we've got a young kid goat that has been abandoned by her mother, and how we're having to force her to take him to feed, and we're transitioning him to a bottle onto whole milk, cow's milk, and how we have to do it slowly. Otherwise, it disrupts their digestive system, causes scours, or as we would in human terms call diarrhea, and it can dehydrate and kill them. And so I was going to do this whole spiel about this, and I showed how we have to force her to let the baby feed, and then we give him some milk from the bottle and feed him that way. And then I show a bunch of the other goats and the babies, and I get through all this, and I go to check out the video. No video, nothing. And I'm like, oh man, I don't know what I did wrong, but it ain't there.
Yeah.
All right.
It happens.
So where you dialing in from, John?
I'm in Boca Raton, Florida.
Oh, nice. Okay,
All right.
probably real nice and toasty down
Another
there.
Southerner that's being nice and toasty.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah, we're used to the humidity and the heat.
Jeff and I were talking behind the scenes before we went live. Up here in Ohio, it's been unseasonably cold.
Oh,
We usually open our pool by Memorial Day, and we haven't been able to get in it yet. But today, it finally got into the 90s, and it's going to be 95 all week. So that's finally going to warm the water up, and might be able to get in it. I'm going to try getting in it tomorrow, I think. So I'm excited. But here in Ohio, we get a month about the middle of August, and we got to shut everything down again because of the
wow.
nights get too cold and the chills the water down. And I definitely envy all of you who live in states with warmer, more seasonable temperatures year round. So
Yeah, I grew up in Pennsylvania, so I know the seasons, and I don't miss the cold. It's why I moved here.
mhm.
No. Now, I've told a story before. My dad's from Toledo, Ohio, and he was military for 26 years. We traveled around, settled in San Antonio, and that's my home. And
Mhm.
when he retired, guys were asking, "Oh, so you gonna move back to Toledo?" He said, "Oh, hell no." He said, "I'm never going through another Ohio winter." He
Some of
loved
those
it down
winters.
here in Texas.
Yeah.
All right. Well, John, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself since you're the newbie here on Monday night?
Sure. I just did my Monday Night Live. I do one every Monday. It's at 6:15, and one of my viewers said I needed to come on here at 8 o'clock. So I wrote it down on my paper and made sure I looked you up. I just subscribed to your channel.
That would
There's
be
so
Uncle
many
Charlie that sent you.
that's probably who it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so hopefully he'll be on here too. So what you want to hear my carnivore story? I'll try to make it kind of brief. So I'm going to be 61 in a few days, and right around 52 years old, I tried to go on another diet because I was putting on the weight. I was getting heavy, about 30, 40 pounds overweight. And, the diets I always did in the past, they worked. They were restriction diets. And, but then I always put the weight back on and more. And I always had lower back pain. I was getting more and more supposed age-related things starting to happen to me. So I tried a ketogenic diet for the first time about 8 years ago, and lost a lot of weight and started feeling great. But then I got a kidney stone about a year later because I was doing a lot of high oxalate foods because they were low in carbohydrate. So I was doing the plants and the animals, the animal meats. Anyway, I passed that. It was pretty bad. And I learned about oxalates, which led me to other plant toxins. And I realized, okay, I need to stop eating all these plants. So I went ketovore for a couple of years, felt a lot better, lost a little more weight, just everything tightened up and got that much better. And I started watching, the YouTube people who were more carnivore. And I thought, well, I'm so close to doing all carnivore already since I took out these plants that had oxalates. Let me just take out the leftover plants, which I did about 3.5 years ago. So now I'm pretty much full carnivore, and even just my brain, my mental acuity, my mood, everything elevated that much better. Lower back pain gone forever. I had AFib, which went into remission as soon as I cleaned up my diet, off medicine. I don't take any medicine now. And I feel, like I said, I'm 61. I feel like I'm still in my 20s now. I can reach and stretch and go to the gym and work out. I have energy, so much so I had to get off the coffee because I was still doing caffeine and I had too much energy. I found myself too wired because I was so healthy that I realized it takes some of this out, this caffeine. I feel a little bit better. I was too energized with that caffeine. It was making me jittery. A few other things happened when I went carnivore that I had to dial down other things that I was adding before just to feel okay or good. I took out, so now I just eat beef and lamb, and fish and eggs. I use animal fats. I add animal fats when it's lean, and I'll have an occasional pork and poultry every once in a while, but I try to keep those to a minimum. And I have never felt better. I still test it every once in a while. I have a little dairy. I took all the dairy out, by the way, and that elevated me to another level. But when I put the dairy back in, I noticed a huge, put the brakes back on again. So that, taking out most of the dairy really helped me a lot. I could talk another 3 hours, but I'll stop there. A lot of wonderful benefits happened.
And we all can. That's why we do what we do here on YouTube. So
very similar story to mine.
When we have a life-changing, intervention like that, it's hard not to be zealous and want to talk about it and share it with others.
Yeah.
So
I'm an AFibber myself.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yep. Yeah, Jeff had AFib and has put it into remission for the majority of the time.
A couple of months ago, I did have, for the first time in three years, I did have another AFib attack. I'm a paroxysmal AFib.
I'm proximal also.
And at least once a year, I'd have a major attack that would put me in the ICU. And then after a cardiac ablation that didn't work, my fourth AFib attack, I had enough. I said, I'm done. I'm over. I got to change something. Mm-hmm. And it's my son that introduced me to Carnivore for this reason. Anyhow, so I went 3 years. Doctor took me off of metoprolol, took me off of flecainide. And basically, my cardiologist said, you've done more to heal yourself than I could do. So just come in and see me once a year just for a checkup,
Good.
And anyhow, so 3 years later, I had a pulmonary embolism, which had nothing to do with Carnivore. Turns out I have a defective gene that promotes blood clotting in my legs. And I was lucky I survived the pulmonary embolism, from what they say. Plus I have cancer, and cancer promotes blood clots. So, double barrel shotgun there.
Wow.
Anyhow, so I had a AFib attack, but this attack was one of the mildest ones I had. I didn't go to the hospital, didn't have to. I just need to lie down, do some deep breathing exercises,
Right.
Just kind of, get into a constant state of prayer, with my Lord, and just meditate and settle things down. And I was able to get through without any problems, which, that had never happened before. And I believe because this happened shortly after the pulmonary embolism, I believe the stress that my body went through is what caused me to revert into an AFib attack again. That's the only thing that I can think of that could have triggered it, because I'm a pretty strict carnivore myself. It's meat, water, eggs and salt, and that's about it. Little cheese now and then. So I can empathize with a lot of what you went through.
Yeah, I was on flecainide and metoprolol, and I didn't like the side effects. I would state that the cardiologist wanted me to have an ablation. I went onto the ablation forum on Facebook. So many people told me they had to have multiple ones because they didn't work. It seemed very invasive. I did not want to do that. He was angry. He was angry with me because
it's extremely invasive. Yeah. It's extremely invasive.
And took myself off. It's
the only time now. I've had 12 or 13 surgeries in my life, some major, some minor.
Wow.
I'm accident prone. I'm always getting hurt, and plus had a very bad diet all my life. But when I had the ablation, that's the first time I went into panic mode. When they got me in that room, and it wasn't fun at all, and I don't ever want to go through another one because, well, when they came out to talk to me about it before they wheeled me in, they were getting me ready to wheel me in. I noticed there was this nurse, these two nurses, and where one of them might have been an anesthesiologist, I don't know, but it was male and female, and they had coats on. I'm talking heavy coats, and
it's freezing in that.
This is Texas. It's 90 degrees outside. What are you wearing coats for? And they said, well, we keep that room pretty chilly.
Right.
And I said, well, why is it so chilly? She said, because the machinery, we have to keep it cool. Okay. Well, they wheel me in there, and everybody's dressed in heavy clothing. And they wheel me in there, and I'm naked as a jaybird except for a sheet over me. And I immediately, I hate the cold. I'm from South Texas. And I mean, I grew up without air conditioning. I get out there and work on my farm in 106 degrees heat. It don't bother me none. But I go into that room, they've got it around 40 degrees or so, and I'm freezing. And I start shivering and shaking, and you know, the adrenaline starts flowing, and they start putting these pads on me, on my back and my chest. And these pads, I swear they pulled them out of the freezer. They were so cold. And I start freaking out. And I'm about ready to crawl off that table and run out of there. And they had to restrain me and get the gas on me quick and get me knocked out because I was going into panic mode. And I've never done that before. But that was very stressful on me. It wasn't fun. I don't ever want to do that again. Yeah, that and a prostate biopsy. Without anesthesia, I don't ever want to go through those two things ever again.
I'm gonna turn the light on here, guys.
Shake
Hold
your
on.
head. It ain't fun. See, I've done run him off with that one.
Yeah, that's not fun. That does not sound like fun.
No. So, you know, all the more reason to say that nothing tastes as good as how I feel.
I
I
like
don't
that
want to go
phrase.
back to that stuff.
Yeah.
I love how I feel now. I love what Carnivore has done for me, my life, and my body. And I don't ever want to revert back to the way I was.
I framed that saying. I have it in my my studio where I do my videos. Nothing tastes as good as God, how does that go? Nothing tastes as good as being healthy feels.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
You know, and that becomes not just a mantra, but a lifestyle. It's a way of life for us now.
It is.
You know,
Well, the more
this
you
isn't
do
a
it
diet.
too, the longer you do it, the more it becomes
Right.
normal and natural.
This isn't a diet. It's a lifestyle. It's
Absolutely.
it's how I live. There's two things that identify me as a human being. First and foremost, I am a Christian. Second, I'm a carnivore. Just that simple. Hello, Desiree.
Hello.
Hi, Jeff. Hi, Bob. And oh my God, is that John Laspina?
Yes, it is.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I was just talking about you a couple of hours
You
ago.
were. Oh,
I was.
okay.
Hopefully
My
good.
ears were ringing.
Well, they should have been. Yeah, so I have a really new YouTube channel, and it's mostly built off of snatching good content from other people because I don't have anything myself, right? I'm
Mhm.
working on it. So I have a whole playlist of John Laspina. It's labeled Carnivore Teacher Alpha, and it's all of your videos about your vegetables.
Oh, my mini series.
Yes.
I was gonna say that I was gonna bring up that mini series. I watch your Monday night lives if I got home early enough and I got this all set up. If I've made my thumbnail and I've got StreamYard all set up and I've got time and I'm all ready, then I'll watch your live stream while I have dinner before I go live. If not, then I'm usually I don't work well with distractions, so I can't do two things at once. I can't think
I
of my
hear you.
thumbnail
Yeah.
while listening to something at the same time. But yeah, you have a excellent mini series going on. I don't know if you've concluded yet or if it's still in progress, but he's got videos where he talks about every single popular vegetable, and it's nutritional content and it's anti-nutrient content. So it's a really nice breakdown. You get into corn, you get into carrots, you get into tomatoes, you get into lettuce. You would have thought that that's just crunchy water. John has a little bit more to say to that. And as soon as I bring your link up, I'll share it in the chat. But yeah, that's a good series to go check out for sure. Especially if you want to drill down to one particular plant that maybe you still tend to have on from time to time. You know, maybe after watching that, you might feel okay about it, or maybe you want to clean it up a little bit. So,
Well,
yeah,
it's very excellent.
that's a good series there for sure.
And
It's all about informed consent. You need all the information, and we're not given all the information in society. We're only told that this plant is healthy for this reason, and they don't tell you about the plant toxins.
Oh, we're just plain brainwashed, man.
Oh yeah,
We are brainwashed from time we're children.
we are. And you should see the comments I get, because I put these videos not just on YouTube, I put them in Facebook Reels, and I get a whole different audience from Facebook. And I'm getting pushback from the vegans big time.
Of course you will.
Lots of arguments in comments and everything. And I tell them, I'm giving equal time. I'm talking about the nutrition, the nutrients in these plants, as well as the plant toxins. We need all the information.
Yes.
Now on this channel, I repeatedly emphasize that I'm not anti-plant. So I'm very pro carnivore, and I'm 95% carnivore. Hello, are you going to hide? If I do this,
Is that your dinner? Oh, look at that.
okay. All right. Well, thank you very much.
But Bob, plants are trying to kill you.
He's got a salad there.
So. But she brought me some Applebee's, so it comes as a kit. So I'm 95 to 97% carnivore. So the only time that I eat a plant usually is if I go out to eat, or is depending on my social circles. Usually it's if someone invites me over and they want to show hospitality, like they usually think in terms of keto, and I'm never rude. So I'll go ahead and maybe have a small portion of everything that they've gone ahead and provided. But outside of that, when I'm home, I'm carnivore. And I've been at this way for 3 years myself. And my big win, didn't have any heart issues, but I had ulcerative colitis. That was my big win. My ulcerative colitis has been cured or put into remission, however you want to refer to it. It's gone, and I don't take any prescription medications for it anymore. And it even came back negative on my last colonoscopy. They always do a biopsy and send it to a lab, but that came back for the first time in over 12, 13 years. It came back negative for ulcerative colitis. So I count that as a major win, because they consider that an incurable autoimmune disease.
Oh.
So, and outside of that, I do have stage 4 chronic kidney disease, which has shown no improvement. So little micro improvements, but nothing to write a book about. So. And that's pretty much my motivation for cleaning up my diet was, between all my illnesses, I was like, I got to do something, because I'm falling apart. So I've been able to put my chronic kidney disease, I've been able to stabilize it. So I'm no longer showing a decline in my kidney function, but I've stabilized it doing my carnivore diet. So that's kind of my angle, and I could talk about a lot more, and there's a huge amount of benefits. We talk about brain fog, depression, things like that. Those things are gone, and I could go on and on and on, but my big win for sure is ulcerative colitis. So I posted John's link, and then I'll go try and fish for Desiree's too. Make a comment in the chat. That's easier to find it that way if I can just click your name.
Bob, do you do like a keyword like fire hydrant or prime rib, or do you do a keyword?
No.
Okay. No big deal.
just say whatever. So I got shrimp and Parmesan sirloin. You're gonna have to watch me eat.
Did that come through?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Faith,
fuel.
As everybody knows, I'm still kind of new to this. So sometimes I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, what am I supposed to click on? Well, while you're looking for that, Bob, if you don't mind, every day I have to give gratitude for something. And I haven't done my gratitude yet for today. So I'm going to throw it to John, because I, a couple years ago, was recently diagnosed with ADHD because I was having just a slew of problems with my focus, my attention. My work was suffering because of it, which was really embarrassing. And so they diagnosed me with ADHD. And through that process, I have learned that I can't hold my attention very long for certain periods of time. So the reason why I have been saving all of your mini series to my personal YouTube channel is because it works for me. The amount of time that you put into that, because you have your beyond oxalates, which I also have, by the way, you know, much more explanation into things. And then you have this, like, let's just break it down and let's just say, look, here's the green side, here's the red side, and let me just tell you what's going on. You do you, I'm just giving you the information. And I'm still so new to this. When it comes to like talking about nutrition, talking about medical barriers, or just things that people have, I'm hearing a lot of stuff that I don't even know what that is. Like ulcerative colitis. Yeah, I heard it on the TV on a commercial, but I don't know what that is, you know? So I'm learning more about these things, and it's just taking me some time. And so being able to go back and listen to your mini series, and hearing those words come up again, hearing people like Jeff and Bob, others that are in the chat. By the way, hello everybody in the chat. For anybody that gave me a shout out, hi back to you, and hello to my mom. I sent her the link. I was like, oh my gosh, because I was literally just talking about John. And so I was like, well, speaking of, there he is. And I sent my mom the link, and she's in the chat. So if she's still following along, hi mom, I love you so much. Thank you for supporting me in this very strange journey, because come on guys, right, when we all start this, we look like we're a little crazy. And you know, anyway, so that's my gratitude for the day, John. I hope you accept it, and
thank you.
Keep doing
hi to mom.
Yeah, keep doing what you're doing, because for people like me who need things in smaller doses, it works.
It's good. I appreciate that feedback. That means a lot. It does. After my mini series, I have, oh God, what do I have? Maybe 4 or 5 more vegetables to do. And then I'm going to do a few regular videos. And then through high demand, everybody's like, what about the fruits? So I'm going to be doing a fruit mini series. Same format, you know, breaking it down. And then, you know, I'm getting comments, okay, if you're going to put the microscope on the fruits and the vegetables, why don't you do it on all the meats? I'm like, okay, you're going to ask me for the drawbacks of the meats, and I'll be honest, and I'll show them the truth about how we really don't have that. First of all, there's no plant toxins in meat, and there's very few negatives with different meats. So we'll see how that goes. Stay tuned.
I was thinking somebody did something similar to that here just recently. Can't think of who it was, but you know, they gave equal time to the meats. You know, what are the negatives about meats? Might have been Dr. Hampton, and of course, there weren't very many negatives.
There's not many.
I'll give you time. It's going to be a short discussion.
Right.
No, that'll be a good series, because, like, you know, I know you talked about your beef, eggs, and seafood would probably be your trifecta. And I'm the same way, but I actually do eat a considerable amount of pork. I like sausage and bacon, and then and I eat bird, you know, chicken from time to time. I'm not as thrilled about that, but I always talk about how we should eat the rainbow of meats, you know, to get your full nutritional profile. I think you should eat just a little bit of everything. However, I will say that a man can survive on beef alone, so you will get everything you need from beef.
I agree.
And me, I eat just about everything. My list is too long. I'm still waiting to go down there to Rick's place and go get me iguana. I haven't had iguana yet. I've had gator and snake and frog, but I haven't had iguana yet.
Rick will serve it up for you for sure.
It's on my bucket list.
Yeah.
Have you met him in person since you're down in Florida also?
I didn't meet him. I mean, he lives about an hour and a half away from me, but I met him at Hack Your Health in Tampa. We got to spend some time together. We went out to lunch together and hung out there. He is tall, gentlemen.
Yes. Yeah, what are you, 6'6"?
He's 6'7", I think. He towers over everybody. Yeah. Nicest guy you'll ever meet. Heart of gold. He really is. Yeah. Hi, Kelly.
I'll be going to the Hack Your Health this year. Yeah.
You're signed up to go this year? Yeah, it's an amazing event. It really is. It's pretty cool.
Where's it at this year? In Florida again?
It's in Tampa again, yeah.
Okay. I think speaking of getting togethers, Kelly and I brought it up again for the second time now that we might be trying to do something here in the Midwest with Kelly and Juliet and a few others being like in the Missouri area. I know we've got somebody over in Kansas. and then myself, and there's two others, Anna Rosa and another gal. I can't think of her name at the moment. They're in Omaha. I'm in Lincoln, Nebraska. And I think we've got a few from Iowa. So I don't know. Maybe we can find we can find some common ground and come together and just have an opportunity to meet people, because I'm a huge people person. And right now, while you guys are all, taking your life back, which I am too, I'm trying to create life. So that's why I'm on this journey. I'm trying to create life. And it would be so great to get together and meet people and be able to just give a hug and express that gratitude. I haven't been working I've been off work for 6 months now because we're trying to focus on our fertility journey. So there's a lot to it, but so not working and not having people, sometimes my resources are getting a little bleak. I'm getting a little drained because I need people. So this community is incredibly welcoming, and you guys let me jump in. Of course, with Bob, I got to give a little wave, just to make sure that I am who I am and nobody's trying to come in pretending to be me. And I get to come in and get to talk to you guys, and it kind of gives me that little bit of a fill to whew, okay, I can go another day now. I got my chance to talk to people. So
It's called support.
I make the wave because we had a accident one time that I don't want to be repeated. So
yeah, it wasn't pleasant. When it comes to meeting people, other carnivores, here's something you can try. There's an app called Nextdoor, and it'll connect you with people in your community, in your area. Once you get figured out how to use it and everything. Now, where I'm at, we're so desolate. There's maybe 5 people in my area, and nobody talks. Nobody converses. But where I used to live, man, there was a ton of us. I could find anybody selling any kind of eggs or any kind of tools or whatever I needed. There was somebody in my area selling something, and of course, they're discussing everything when it comes to, politics, religion, food, whatever. I started a channel on there called the Carnivore Tribe, and I've got over 50 people on there that are subscribers to that channel, and I post articles and whatnot. Well, so what I was able to do through that was to have my own carnivore meetup at a barbecue joint, nearby, and it was a pretty good deal. So you can organize your own carnivore meetup and just go share a meal, with people in your area. So check out that Nextdoor app and see if you can't get something done with that. And you might find there's more people around you than you know. And because of that, I was actually able to bring people to the carnivore lifestyle, and help them out.
Yeah. Even Facebook, I just started, I gave up on social media years and years ago. So when I say I'm kind of new to all of this, I am not kidding. I really walked away from all of that. It became kind of obsessive for not good reasons,
Right.
And so I'm like, you know what, I just got to get away from it. Well, now that I'm not working, it's like I have nothing to do.
I don't do much with Facebook, but a friend of mine who does, and he's a brother in Christ, he turned me on, and I don't go there very often, but he turned me on to Carnivores for Christ on Facebook. And it seems like a good little group. You might check them out as well.
Yeah, well, thank you, Jeff.
You're welcome.
But yeah, maybe that's something I need to think about, is just maybe doing a Facebook group, because I don't know. I mean, I guess I could do it on my private Facebook group, but not everybody wants to see that or hear that or accept it, because it is hard, right? It's hard.
So what?
For people to accept what you're saying.
So what? I don't care. Are you speaking the truth? Okay, as a Christian, you're supposed to speak the truth, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about it. Granted, Christ spoke the truth and was crucified for it. They killed him for the truth. But we're commanded to do the same thing. And I think the same way when it comes to diet and nutrition. If you know the truth, I think it's a duty to speak the truth. Now, I'm not saying go out and get in people's faces and preach to them, but I am saying that when the subject comes up, be willing to stand up and be honest with them. And that includes even with your doctor. I don't lie to my doctor. My doctor knows exactly how I eat. You know, I'm fortunate. Right now I've got a doctor that doesn't disagree with me. I used to have one that did disagree with me, you know, but yeah, always speak the truth. Don't be afraid to stand up. Of course, if you notice under my name in the titles there, it says joyfully defiant, you know, and so I am joyfully defiant. I'm happy to go against the grain at all times, and I'm also a positive deviant. I ain't scared to stand up. Caught him with
People
his mouth
respect
full.
that. People respect the truth. They see the truth for what it is, like a light in a dark room. You see it for what it is, and people have a gut instinct for what is real. So they can tell if you're being a phony. So always be true to yourself and to other people, and you're always going to have people who are against you, people who disagree with you. Just stand your ground and understand your convictions and stay true to yourself. Know thyself and be true to yourself.
Yeah,
That's exactly it.
and the thing is, and we're taught in the scriptures that we are to, we've got to know what the truth is to speak the truth, and that when we're confronted about something, we are to come well armed, ready to defend our truth. And we're taught that in the scriptures. So you can do it, but the more you learn, the stronger you get, the more you know, the better you can defend your faith, and the better you can defend your lifestyle and diet. You'll get there.
And that's where those
Listen to how
playlists.
I feel.
Yeah, those playlists. I'm looking at your channel here, and we can all see your playlists, and you have them categorized. And you do have a category. You do have a saved playlist that's all of John's videos, but that's okay. That's okay, because you know what, you want to consistently educate yourself. Because unlike some food trends, like I hate to be unfair, but I'm going to pick on the vegans. Mm-hmm. A lot of vegans don't know why they're vegans. They're vegans because they're in a social circle where so are their friends, but they don't know a thing about nutrition. They just like, well, I don't want to hurt that animal because it's got a cute face. It's just real light. That's the difference with carnivore though, or keto carnivore. Anything on this side of that spectrum is it's really based on hard science and facts. And so once or the truth, as Jeff just worded it as. So as you learn the truth, the hardcore science, the facts, and then you get to the point where you're confident that you know what you know. It doesn't matter what anybody is going to say to you. Any kind of smart comments they make or derogatory comments, you'll just know that they're speaking from ignorance. And you're standing your ground out of education, and that's powerful, and that's why a lot of us who yo-yo dieted, like I did, and John admitted that he did. We tried this, it worked. We tried this, it worked. But why do we stick to carnivore? Because it worked. Not only did it work, we understand it, we get it. And so now it's like, okay, this isn't a lifestyle. This isn't a diet, just a diet. This is a lifestyle. And you become immune to all that.
It is such a mental thing. We understand the facts, and it's like the bell ringing analogy. Once that bell is rung, you can't unring it. I can't unlearn these things I've learned about protein and fatty acids and vitamins and minerals and how my body is utilizing this to heal and regrow every part of my body. I'm not eating this way because vegans will, a lot of their arguments are, I want to do this for the animals. I feel so bad. I want to help them, but they don't understand the whole education of how actually more creatures are being killed and murdered for all these crops that are being grown out in the fields. Mm-hmm. I did a couple of videos on that too. Just the knowledge is there, and information, knowledge is power. We have to use that and use it as our armor, like Jeff said.
As I spoke to one this evening over on Quora, somebody was saying, something about murdering animals and all that stuff. And I went ahead and commented on there that for one thing to live, something else must die. That is the true circle of life.
It is.
I don't care what it is, whether it's a plant, whether it's an animal, whether it's an insect. For this one thing to live, something over here has to die to feed it. That's just the facts. You can't escape it. And it's sad to say, I raise my own animals. I hunt. Nearly all the meat I eat is something I either hunt, I either catch on a hook and line, or I raise myself. And so I have a very close relationship with these animals.
What animal?
Speaking of close relationship
meat.
with animals.
Hi, Kurt.
How's it going, Kurt? You
Good
must have the
evening.
day off.
I got the week off, but I got husband duties this week.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to pop on and say hello. I've been a while since I've seen everybody.
All right, good.
And-
Hi.
Just got home, pulled in the drive, swapped out, got my clothes off, got naked.
Mm-hmm.
We see.
All right. You wouldn't be online
see.
any other way.
Now we know what's underneath there.
Kurt,
So,
Kurt,
yeah.
Kurt likes to do
Kurt,
the
you
lives
see-
and
You
shirtless.
seem a little slimmer in the face there, brother.
Oh, I'm upset because I did. My wife got some Indian snacks made with rice flour, and they're spicy. I love them, and I had quite a bit of it. And in one day, I gained 5 pounds.
Oh my goodness! You're still looking slimmer in the face though.
That happens to me too. Like I can gain weight very easy, and if I don't know what it is, but my scale can vary 5 pounds from day to day, depending on whether I'm behaving or misbehaving. So seems like as soon as I have some carbohydrates, whoosh, my body automatically just, I don't know if a lot of it's water weight since it's carbohydrate, and but it can be pretty wild the way my scale can oscillate back and forth. So
No bueno.
mhm.
I can't do it. That's
All right.
the wife's seen what happened to me. So,
Yep.
before I get scolded, I got to head in the house. I'm glad I caught you guys in the beginning, and it's the wife's night tonight for sure.
All right. Well, you enjoy the evening with her, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for popping
All
in.
right. God bless you all.
Hi, Kurt.
You too.
And speaking of making an appropriate exit, I think I'm going to jump off too, just to save some space on the panel for some other people if they want to chime in. But man, when I saw John was on, I was like, oh gosh, you got to get on there. You got to get on there. Just do it. Just do it.
Well,
John's
Thanks
awesome.
for all of my blushing. I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Good to meet you, Desert. It's
Yeah.
very good. I will check out your channel.
Yes, thank you. Right now, it's not super interesting, so I get it. But
Is it the name of your name there, Desiree? Is that the name of the channel?
people say that my channel is under my name, but you can also look it up with the Faith, Fuel, and Footsteps as well.
Face,
And
Fuel, and Footsteps.
just like, is there a little
Faith.
flag underneath Faith?
Oh,
Like,
Faith.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna paste it here in the chat. Here we
Fuel
go.
and Footsteps.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I tried finding mine under
I'll look for you.
thanks, John.
under Geezy
Oh,
the
yeah.
Carnivore, and I couldn't find it. When I went to my name, I could find it.
John, I think you might already be subscribed to my channel. Oh no, that was somebody else.
No,
Nope,
I
that was
don't
somebody
think
else.
I'll have to do. I have so many now. I have
That
so
was
many
a-
tabs when I open up my YouTube. I'll add one more.
That was a heart doctor guy. Yeah. So, but anyway, I'll every day I'll keep trying to plug away,
All
put
right,
a little
good,
content out
good.
there or
Good
something.
to
So,
meet
but
you.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was wonderful to meet you too. You guys all have a great rest of the panel. I'm gonna listen in, so keep it interesting.
All right.
All right,
Bye, guys.
Desiree. We'll see you
Bye.
next
Have
time.
a good one,
Take
Desiree.
care.
Good night.
And if you'd like to join us on screen, we do have room for 10. So there's plenty of room. Nobody has to bounce out if you don't want. But I'm going to paste the link right now. And you can go ahead and click that and join us on screen if you so desire. I got just a few starred chats tonight so far. So I'm going to go through some of these here. John, how did you find Carnivore? I know that you told us, but I thought I'd modify this question a little bit. Was there any particular influencer that was the major influence on you?
For Carnivore, it would be Dr. Ken Berry and Anthony Chafee.
All right, very nice. Yes, I'm a student of Dr. Berry myself. He was my gateway to Carnivore there. I started I was doing keto and started looking up recipes on YouTube because I was trying to make keto meals that even the wife and the kids would eat. And I came across his channel, and then I realized that I had been brainwashed by big food companies, and it wasn't the keto I did in the 90s when I read Atkins. I fell for the keto tortillas, the keto bread, and the keto protein bars, and all that keto junk. So I cleaned it up, berry style, just meat and veg. And then I'd go on YouTube, and some of his videos would show up that would start talking about this carnivore diet and how it's completely unnecessary to eat vegetables. And I was like, say what?
Yeah, exactly.
I thought this guy sounded reasonable. Now he's saying this.
Everybody's first impression, everybody's first reaction is that. I have some people that think I'm crazy. My family, all the family and friends are the ones in my entire life that think I'm crazy. Everybody else, I've got a lot of great supporters like Desiree, and then so many people that I know, we don't talk about it because they don't want to talk about it. They knew me before. See, that's the thing. Your family knows you from before. Are you familiar with George Goodenough?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
He's been on.
Right, George. Yeah, George brought a biblical thing up. He was talking about how that's Jesus was not welcome in his own hometown.
Right.
Very similar to when you're going carnivore, when you're sharing all this wonderful information of how you've improved, and I'm so excited. I've got to share this with you. It's your family and friends that don't want to listen the most. It's really interesting.
I'll tell you a funny story how I discovered Dr. Berry. This was right before I started keto 5 years ago. It was a little after New Year's Day. I went to bed, watching TV in bed. I fell asleep, and evidently I woke up and there was this doctor on, and he was talking, and I'm just waiting for this continuous infomercial. And I said, who is this quacking? What is he trying to advertise to sell some kind of supplement or something? And then as he goes, I realized that this was Dr. This is the first time I saw Dr. Berry, and he was actually making a video. He was sending a video and he was being helpful. And I'm like, no, this is an actual real doctor that wants to give people hope, wants to give people help. And it was the first video that ever came up. It was said 7 ways naturally to boost your testosterone naturally for free. And he explained every one of them. And it was a simple video. So I started watching more of them. I got to his subscribed to his channel, and I watched more of his videos. And what got me started the following day was he says, if you're watching this video tonight, why are you, if you're watching this, why wait till Monday? Start tomorrow. If you're watching this morning, start today. He was talking about getting on a proper human diet. And that's when I started, but I technically started carnivore in a way, because that's what I started eating, meat and cheese, stuff like that. But then I went to Dr. Berg. I found Dr. Berg, and that's like, well, maybe I need to eat more veg.
Yeah,
I think that kind of got me a little bit in trouble, because it gave me some oxalates. I didn't understand about oxalates and lectins and all those phytochemicals that the plants had, because I ate raw nuts, I ate almonds, I ate the almond meal, I ate spinach, for all spinach, and then I think that's part of my hip issue was a physical damage. The other part was all this plant stuff that I put in there, because it just slowly, miserable. When I went carnivore, it was like in 30 days, it was going away. Now, I just finished the lion diet the other day. I did my 30 days and I felt phenomenal. I felt great on it. And I still have the limp. I walk a little bit better. I still have the physical damage and stuff, but it was like a mindset. And I'm getting ready to do another video. I did a video review of my 30 days results. I want to do another video on some of the mistakes I made or about dairy. Dairy is good, but for me, when I started at the beginning, I had dairy, I had everything worked for me. Well, fast forward, dairy's not working for me. It caused me to gain weight. And when I went on this, I lost 9. When I saw the video, it was 9 pounds. As of this morning, it's like 12 pounds down. I'm almost 3 inches around my waist gone.
All right.
Yeah.
Very
Dairy
nice.
did that for me too. I stopped the dairy.
Steadfast says Dr. Berg is a big supporter of carnivore. I listen to him just about more than anyone. So he does support carnivore. You know, he's supports keto, supports carnivore. He's okay. I don't really gravitate towards his content. I don't know. It doesn't resonate with me so much. Maybe it's because he covers a wide variety of topics and I'm not interested in all of them, but I think Dr. Berg's a good guy. So let's see here. Lance said that he had a successful ablation in 2017. Took twice as long as scheduled, but it worked.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's about a 60% success rate.
60%. Yeah.
Yeah. It's about 60% success rate. I fell into the 40%.
And then, on Monday nights, she goes out to eat because she knows I'm doing this. And she went out for Mexican. And as you guys know, I can't eat Mexican at all anymore. And because of the like epileptic kind of seizures things that I get.
Ooh.
So
what is it in the Mexican food that does that, you think?
So
Spices?
I am hyperkalemic, so my potassium runs high. And Mexican food is high potassium. They use a lot of potassium in their spices. They infuse their corn chips, corn tortillas with potassium. You got potassium in the salsa, potassium in the avocado. And I didn't know that. I found that out the hard way because I went.
Wow.
I'll tell you the story because it's interesting. I went a year and a half. My first year I went strict. First year I was strict carnivore. Like strict, no seed oils, no nothing. And then my second year is when I've kind of went back to about 97% carnivore. But we had this one evening, my son wanted us to go down and have dinner with his now fiance and her dad. And they wanted to go to this Mexican restaurant called Jalisco's. And I was like, okay. And usually I can go to even a Mexican restaurant and I can make carnivore work, or I can at least make keto work, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We go down there and I leaf through their menu. And unfortunately, there's no way it's going to happen here, you know? And they felt really bad. I'm like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about me. I'm like, I'll just enjoy the Mexican experience. I'll have a burrito and a Dos Equis, and tomorrow I'm right back on my plan. I'm past the point where this is going to derail me, you know? And so that's what I did. And then I came back home and passed out in my chair a couple hours later. Well, then I woke up and every muscle in my body was cramping. So my bottoms of my feet, arches of my feet, Charlie horses in my both calves, from the inside of the knee to the inside of the groin, my biceps, my hands. Oh. I was hunched over and I was in crazy pain.
Wow.
And the whole thing lasted about 10 minutes before all the muscles finally relaxed.
Wow.
And then I was afraid to go to sleep after that. And I was like, what in the world just happened? And I'm thinking like, well, for the last 3 years, I've ate clean. And my first thought was, well, it must be the alcohol and my kidneys. You know, because alcohol is a poison and I've got kidney disease. So I blamed it on the alcohol. Well, about 3 months later, we went out for Mexican again, and I had a margarita, and I had the same attack that night. Wakes me up in the middle of the night with all these cramps and stuff.
Jeez.
And then a couple months after that, I was like, well, I'm not going to have a margarita. My wife got like this frozen one, and all I had was a couple bites of it to taste it, because she's like, you got to try this. I'm like, okay. I tried it. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty good, but but it's not for me, I'm afraid. I had that same attack that night, and that time my wife and my son, they actually got to witness it. And they're like, and they're both of them were like, okay, no more alcohol for you. And then we went out for Mexican a couple months after that. This would have been maybe 3 months ago now. I didn't have a drop. I was like, don't even put it in front of me. I'm not ordering it. I prefer if you don't even order it either. Don't drink in front of me, And we just had Mexican food, and I came home and we were watching TV, and about 3 hours later, I had to jump up from the chair and like stretch out all my limbs because they wanted to recoil on me.
Charlie horse. Wow.
And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like, I can't believe this. And then it dawned on me, I'm like, it's not the alcohol, it's the food. And then I got on the internet, and with the help of AI, I'm like, explained them all my conditions. I have an AI I use regularly that knows all about me, so I just explained all my conditions and what was happening, and that was pretty much the results. Was this probably the potassium? What happens is 2 hours after I'm done eating, it's digested and it goes into my bloodstream, and I suddenly have a potassium spike. And the muscles, not only can low electrolytes cause cramps, but excessive electrolytes can cause cramps too. But I only have this problem with Mexican food. So, the good news is that was always my kryptonite. Now I can say, sorry, if you're going to Mexican food, I'm just going to stay home. So
that's an interesting story. Wow, I never heard anything about that with Mexican food and potassium. It's good to know more information.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. So that's why I can't have it. So she went out for Mexican because she knows I'm live streaming. But I said, hey, can you bring me back something? And she's like, oh, I'm going to Mexican. I'm like, oh, never mind then. But then she came back with a steak and shrimp.
Yep.
So,
but you make your own Mexican with egg life wraps. You
I
have
do.
your tacos or your burritos.
I make my own Mexican at home. Egg life wraps for the shells, and then I still use seasonings, because like I said, I'm okay with that. Other people might not be, but I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
And that works. But yeah, I will not go to a Mexican restaurant again, because I would rather pass away than have another one of those cramp episodes.
Wow.
I mean, it's because when I'm going through that, it's just like, it's pain. I'm sweating. I feel like I'm going to vomit because I'm in shock. My body's going through shock. And it's the worst. It's probably one of the worst experiences I've ever had. So, Bill Cook mentioned this is going back to my kidney disease. Fasting could help, maybe. Maybe. So, kidneys are notorious for being slow to heal, or not healing at all, and part of it depends on what caused the damage. So, like people with diabetic kidney disease, they clean up their diet and their kidneys heal again. Mine is pharmaceutically induced. So what killed my kidneys was 12 years of mesalamine that I was taking for the ulcerative colitis. So when you look that up, it says that mesalamine is known to cause irreversible kidney damage. And over the course of those 12 years, nobody ever ordered up lab work and checked my labs. So that's, I think.
Well, that's a crime right there. My gosh, that's malpractice, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So that's what happened to my kidneys. So I don't expect them to. I don't expect them to recover. Now, if by some miracle they do, I won't complain. But I'm really on the trying to salvage what kidney I have, and not necessarily counting on them being reversed.
You're 3 years carnivore so far, you said?
I am, yes.
Well, it may take time. You may go to stage 3.5, the different stages. You may move up one.
Could be. I'll take it. I'll take it if I do.
I've heard that happen. Yeah.
Lance says he recently cut out eggs and feels so much better without them. Surprised by that.
Some people are like that with egg whites. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm okay with eggs. You know, you mentioned that you could feel better without dairy. I still
do.
entertain dairy. I still put cheese on, my burgers and cheese on the tacos, and occasionally we'll have some Greek yogurt. I've never tried. The one time I tried cutting out dairy, I did do that for 30 days during my first year, and when I cut out dairy, and this is the opposite of what you would think, I then had chronic diarrhea. And then when I added cheese back to my diet, then my stool returned to normal. So,
Yeah, I believe it's Dr. Chafee that says if you're going to eat cheese, use it as a condiment, not as a meal.
Right, he did.
Unfortunately, because I'm an addict when it comes to foods, sweets, all this kind of stuff.
Me too.
Cheese, because of the case of morphine, tends to be very addictive to me, and it's hard for me to treat it as a condiment. So I go through periods where I just have to abstain from dairy of all kinds, but I still gravitate back to it, every once in a while. There's sometimes I want my carnivore nachos so bad I can't stand it, and that's going to take more cheese than I need to be eating. Although I am trying to reduce how much cheese I put on there. And I haven't had any dairy all week until this evening. Usually in the morning, I like to have a glass of cacao. I've recently started taking, ever since I had my pulmonary embolism, I started taking cacao. Kurt turned me on to this. I believe it was Dr. Berg that he sent me a video, and Dr. Berg was talking about how organic cacao with nothing in it helps with opening up your arteries, your capillaries, expanding your blood vessels, and helps prevent blood clots.
The theobromine in that is what's
Okay.
doing it, but that's also high in oxalates.
Okay, well,
Cacao
okay, that
is
part he
high-
didn't mention.
He doesn't. He doesn't mention it.
Yeah. So anyway, I started taking it because of my since I'm prone to blood clots now.
Mhm.
I started taking it, and I just take a tablespoon a day. Anyways, I didn't take any this morning. We got too busy, and this evening, my wife had mentioned that she's been using it in her daily yogurt, and I thought, well, I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna tell you what, I made a pretty good pudding.
It's like chocolate pudding.
It made a real good pudding.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
way too good a pudding. I won't be doing that again because I could see myself going overboard on that real quick.
You're a lot like me, Jeff. I'm a dairy addict.
Yes, I do love dairy.
That's
Well,
where I'm at.
I made my own for the first 2 years of Carnivore. I made my own yogurt, and it was better than anything I could buy in the store.
Yeah.
And I had to quit making it because I can't stop eating it.
Too much. Yeah.
It's too good. Yeah. When Kelly, in your video the other day, yesterday I believe it was, you mentioned casomorphine, and the word morphine is emphasized in that. It's truly addictive, like morphine. It really is. Yeah, I
I
love
have
it.
to tell
know.
you a
I
story
can-
about something I made. I love ice cream so much.
Same.
Like it's just an addictive thing, creamy and sweet. So I'm like, I went to ChatGPT. I'm like, how can I make a carnivore ice cream that, of course, I'll use allulose or I'll use glycine, but that's dairy free. And it came up with a recipe that had no dairy. No dairy. I used beef tallow. I used all these things, and it was creamy. It was sweet. What was it missing? It was missing that casomorphin. I wasn't getting my satisfaction. I had a couple teaspoons. I'm like, I don't want any more.
No bliss
And
point.
I had an aha moment. I'm like, that's the casomorphin.
Yeah, no
I-
bliss point on that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's the problem. Like Saturday, the night before, or the other night, Saturday night, I had, I ate after I got off. I had a couple steaks, and I was like, oh, here's a little bit of cheese. It was some cheese that I left over a long time ago. I'm like, I have a little bit of it. Next thing you know, I had the rest of it ate, and I'm like, nope, this
It's
is why
tough
I
being an
said it.
addict, man.
It's
It's tough being an addict. It really is.
And we know we are. So we know that we have to abstain.
Yep.
That's why
100% is effortless.
That's why I will treat it like if I have a pizza, I'll make the pacemaker pizza like Rick has, or like I'll do the chaffles, and I won't add if I do chaffle buns, I will not add the cheese to it with a cheeseburger. I'll eat it without it.
Well,
'Cause you
when I
already-
make
it's got the
chaffles,
cheese in it already, yeah.
and I've got the recipe on carnivoretalk.com, I don't use cheese anymore. I make poffles.
How do you
Instead of
make them?
chaffles, I make poffles.
Which
Is
is
What
it
it
egg
is-
and pork panko?
egg and pork panko.
I was thinking about that
Pork rind
tonight. I
panko.
said, I'm thinking about. I was thinking about that tonight. Might
Yeah.
just try that without there.
That's how I make mine, and they make good pancakes too. But they make excellent waffles.
There you go.
Scooby the dog says they have cheese for the same reason. Same reason I did. So it helps with the stool. I don't eat cheese as a meal though. So they said I'll eat a 4 to 8 ounce block for a meal. 8 ounce. I don't, no, I still use cheese as a condiment or a snack. I'll like snack on cheese, but I don't have it as a meal.
So that helps you have a healthier stool and not have a watery stool. Did you say that?
That's correct. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Mine goes further in that direction. If I eat too much dairy, I get constipated.
Yeah,
Right.
most
And that's
people
what
do.
I've heard would happen for most people.
Yeah.
And but when I eliminated dairy, then everything became
you
more
went the other
watery.
direction.
And
Huh.
when I added cheese back, but I've also heard that cheese is a natural constipator, not dairy per se, but cheese in particular. I've heard
It's a
it.
binder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. Negatives about meat will be a short series.
We'll see when I start it, how fast this goes.
Latro says, speaking of fruits, I recently watched a vid where they discussed fructose causes 7 times more glycation damage than glucose per
Yes.
unit. Fructose risk is not reflected in A1C. So all of that is correct.
Correct. Yeah.
If you wanted to check your fructose damage, it would be a fructosamine test if you were concerned about it. But yeah, no, that's true. Is you can eat a bunch of fructose and it's not going to move your A1C, and that's where people have this idea, the myth that diabetics can eat all the fruits that they want. No, that's not
Right.
the case at all. All right. This hack your health will be my first, says Bill. So yeah, I'll get to see you down there. Same with Lewis. Get to see you down there. John, are you returning in 2026?
I didn't. I was not planning to go to the next one. I went to the last 2.
Okay.
So I was thinking of going to Meat Stock next year. I want to try something different.
Yeah, meat stock is interesting too. I think meat stock is rising in popularity very fast.
Yeah.
Hack Your Health was big. Hack Your Health used to be KetoCon,
Right.
but they're kind of widening out to try and appeal to a larger audience. And I think because of that, meat stock is taking off
Mhm.
because we're very niche. We're not interested in the wider audience. So. Uncle Charlie, what's everyone's plans for 250th birthday party? So nothing for that. Although I'm going to Hocking Hills this weekend. So that's what the story I was going to tell earlier is that me and 2 other families, we're going down to Hocking Hills this weekend, and we're talking about what we're going to do there. And of course, we're looking forward to cooking out. The whole idea is to relax, hike some trails, and eat. And so we're going to do, one day we're doing, chicken thighs and sausage links and brats, and then the next day we're going to do New York strips, scallops, and shrimp. And then on the last day we're going to do smash burgers. And but then they're also talking about all the other things that they're going to bring too. So they're talking about bagels and other things like that. And I'm like, oh no, that's not. And they're like, you won't eat a bagel, right? I'm like, no, that's okay. Don't worry about it. But it's and it's kind of funny though, because the one friend was like, it's a vacation, so I'd eat a little pasta since it's a vacation. And I'm like, well, you can go ahead, but you're not gonna peer pressure me into doing this either. So but I'm looking forward to that. We're going to have a good time, but we're going to be in the middle of nowhere. So if I get to see like any fireworks or something, I don't know. I don't know if I'll be close to any civilization.
That's the problem with people that don't understand food addiction.
Mm-hmm.
If you were an alcoholic, that same person would not say, "Oh, well, it's a vacation, it's a birthday, have you a shot of booze, have you a glass of wine." They're not going to say that. They're going to empathize with you. They're going to say, "Yeah, well, we'll do whatever we can to keep this from you. If there's going to be an issue, let us know." They would be more thoughtful of that. They don't understand that a food addiction is like any other addiction, like drugs, alcohol, you name it. We are affected by it the same way.
And they don't understand it because they're eating that food.
Yes, true. Absolutely true.
Yeah, they don't get it. Gentlemen, it's been wonderful being here. I got to get going here, but thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
John, it was good to meet you, sir.
Yes, nice to meet you.
too.
Thanks for popping in.
Yep.
You have a great
Good
night.
to see you, John.
Good to see you again, Kelly. Take care.
Take care. All right. Meathead Kurt said after yesterday, 100 plus. Yesterday mowed the lawn. 100 plus Fahrenheit. That's the temperature. 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Yesterday mowed the lawn. Took a 20-minute break. Go Carnivore. Very good. Tom.
Yeah, I'm surprised Missouri beat us on 100-degree days. Y'all got yours first. I don't think we've had one yet. We're supposed to get one this week.
Yeah, they put us in an excessive heat warning, which so far is not bad. It's the wind's blowing, but when the wind quits blowing, it's miserable because it's so humid. It's not the temperature; it's the humidity.
Right. We're getting a lot of wind down here, but and our humidity's been a little bit up, but it ain't been bad. But the heat's only been getting up to about 95. It's been real comfortable. Well, comfortable for me.
We got to 95 today. It was hot. I worked with my shirt off, and which I don't do very often. But yeah, it was toasty. But that's okay. I'm glad because you know what I hate. I hate -10 and 2 feet of snow. That's what I hate.
Yeah.
So when it's 95 or 100, humid, sweltering, sweating all over, you will not find me complain. I might be miserable, but I'm not going to complain. I will take that any day.
Well, do like my dad, move on down here, get away from all that cold.
Exactly.
Might as well. Everybody else is moving here, Be nice to have somebody from Ohio down here instead of all the Californians that keep moving out here. No offense to the Californians. We're glad to have you. Just don't bring your politics.
Kelly, since you had good results on the 30 Days of Lion, at some point, would you be open to trying it for 90?
Oh, in the future, I went back to more regular carnivore.
Tell your story. My dad's calling, so I'm going to mute myself. I'll be back. Keep going.
I thought about, I'm still going to have majority of red meat in my diet or beef, but, I was kind of missing some eggs and I wanted some eggs and I wanted to kind of blend in a little bit of other meats like some chicken and stuff like that, chicken and pork. But still majority of it is back. I'm still going to have beef. Like tonight, I know Uncle Charlie said, what did I have for supper? It was something simple where I just made 2 chaffles, eggs, and a bacon. They didn't have no added cheese. The only cheese was in the chaffle. That's one thing I learned from the 30 days on the Lion diet was I'm like, not going to have the dairy every day. I'm going to treat it as a treat. So if I want a little Kiltz's ice cream, I'm just going to get a pint jar, get a pint of it, and just do half the recipe and just do it as a treat. I'm not going to do like I did before.
Oh, I can easily do a half gallon of ice cream if I put my mind to it, and it ain't hard. It ain't hard at all. And that's whether it's Kiltz's ice cream or the stuff you buy in the store. Down here in Texas, we've got a brand called Bluebell. And it's the best there is. It's absolutely wonderful. And anything I miss being a carnivore, it's my bluebell, but can't do it. It's got bad stuff in it, so it's no bueno for this kid. All right, so y'all gonna have to educate this old ignorant boy. I think I understand what's going on, but everybody here is posting raid, RAID, like raid and whatnot. What are y'all talking about?
That's a good question. I'm just now seeing it.
It's all
Like
over
raid,
the place.
Raid, what? Raid, hello? Is it, is there a, I raid, is it somebody's YouTube handle? Like raid? That's,
I'm catching
I
up
think what
here.
they're saying is they're coming in and liking the channels. The only thing I can figure. So somebody explain it to this ignorant old boy. Okay, it's from Grandma's Crochet Corners. Okay, that's fine, but what's it mean?
The other day,
The raid.
the other day, I know what it is. So she's, so yesterday I was on somebody else's channel. It was either Bacon Runners, Jerry's, or Kelly's, and she was in a chat, and she said that on Monday night she was going to have her audience raid my channel. So that's what she's doing now, and she's doing a good job, because guess what? I just saw 65 persons. 65 persons were watching just now, and that's a record, because my previous record was 64. So bring on that raid. Come on, bring it on. Here, click that like button. Yes, that would be wonderful. So yes, we're being invaded. We're being raided right now by Grandma's Crochet Corner and her posse.
Well, that's some mighty good folks. I don't mind getting rated by them.
Yeah, we're 66, 67. All right, very good.
Let's hit over
All right.
70.
Let's see here. Let me catch up on some of these comments here. And yeah, let's see here. Scooby just got back from the dog beach. Was watching dogs swimming on a hot day. And then also, I'm a food addict for sure, but not limited to carbs. I can binge easily on meat. So I can, to a point. I will try and move that point too when I go to places like Texas State, Brazil.
Yeah, but I do that on purpose there.
Yeah, I know. That's like, okay, I dropped this coin. I'm going to get my money's worth.
I'm causing two people pain, myself and them. I'm going to hurt their pocketbook, and I'm going to get my fill.
We are here for a like raid. All right.
And I'm going to laugh at everybody at the salad bar filling up their plates.
Raid
I've
me
never
with
been
likes.
to a Brazilian steakhouse.
You ever get the chance, you got to do it, man. The meat
They
is
got one in
fantastic.
Columbia, Missouri. Unfortunately, I won't go to it. Well, I may try it now because it's off season, but I won't do it majority of the time because it's right now downtown Columbia, right next to the MU campus, and I'm like not going down there that time of the year.
All right. Everybody's here for a like raid. I get it. I can see why this was confusing for the two of you when I took the phone call and took my dad's phone call, went to the bathroom, and then everybody's talking about raids. You guys are like, what's going on?
Somebody thought that you were called and warned about the raid or told you were going to get raided.
I was thinking that commercial raid, the cockroach commercial.
That came up too. Now, when I was a kid, I was at a wild game supper at a Lions Club, 14, 15 years old, something like that. And one of the guys came up and told my dad, you might want to get you and your boy out of here. We're fixing to get raided. I just got word, because there were some illegal activities happening at this wild game dinner, a lot of gambling and whatnot. And so, we got out the back door before the raid hit. It's good to have friends on the police force, I guess.
Let's see if I can see my like count without opening the video. No, it doesn't look like it. Hold on here. Go to my lives. Okay, we're going to hear double for a second, unless I can mute this. I can mute it. I muted it. Oh, 48. There we go. All right, I got 48 likes. I'll click it myself and make it 49. It's okay to like your own post, right? It's like throwing glitter on yourself.
I just double liked it.
Oh, does that count?
You can like your own post.
Yeah.
Can you drive that like up? I may have to go do that on mine.
I
All
double
right.
liked. I had it on the computer and I had my phone open as well.
Jerry says, look at it this way. This is a whole lot better than a naked person coming on the computer screen. If you know, you know.
Yeah, we don't need to be reminded of that.
No, I
No.
remember that night. I'm like,
We
whoa,
don't- we
what
don't-
the heck?
That was a raid.
Yeah,
That was a raid,
That was
and we needed a can of raid for that.
that was a downright assault.
Let's see here.
And it's not the only one we've had. We attract all kinds of deviants around here.
The first time it happened, it was someone impersonating Jeff here, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I was just at Fogo de Chao, and I do not understand those people filling their plate at the salad bar.
They're
Yeah.
amateurs. They're amateurs. That's all there is to it.
Ken says to celebrate my 1-year carniversary with friends and tried that trick, and I was able to order a 2-pound ribeye. It was awesome. Thanks for the tip. Oh, I must have missed the trip. The trick.
Yeah, no, he was saying that he remembered talking about going to Texas Roadhouse, and you can custom order your steak cut.
Oh yeah.
You know, they have the butcher window there. You can go up and pick your steak, and if you don't like what you see, you can custom order your own cut. And so I get a 2-pound cut when I go.
My Applebee's steak tonight was incredibly thick. Like usually it's pretty thin, and it's Applebee's, so it's like not the most impressive steak at all.
Yeah.
But when she brought this
They
in here
don't use
today,
prime.
it was like an 1.5 inch thick. I'd never seen a cut so thick. It was actually pretty tasty.
Yeah. So, Ken, glad I could help you out with that. Yeah, you go to Texas Roadhouse, you can get it the way you want it. McDonald's ain't got nothing on them. You can have it your way.
All right, Lions Danivore podcast has become such a discipline to stay focused on this lifestyle. No cheating, no days off. I feel I'm in the sixth sense level that I never want to go back. I won't allow myself to succumb to my old self.
It's a Zen thing. It really is. I mean, if you believe in that sort of thing, which I don't believe in mysticism, but there is a Zen quality to it.
Mm-hmm.
You get into or you could say you get into the zone. Some people that may not like the lifestyle might call it a rut, but I call it the zone. It's just like, okay, I was talking earlier. I love ice cream. Absolutely love Bluebell ice cream. It's the best there is in my opinion. And there's a half gallon of it in the freezer right now at the house. Grandkids were over this weekend, so the wife picked up some ice cream. And every time I open up that freezer to get some ice out from my water, there's that Bluebell staring me in the face. There's no food noise. It doesn't speak to me at all. As much as I love that, there's just I don't understand that language anymore. If I was on death row and I had my last meal, I'd have a pizza and a half gallon of Bluebell ice cream. That would be my last meal. I'd go ahead and indulge because I'm not going to live long enough for it to make me sick. I can just enjoy it, but I don't want to go through the misery that it's going to bring me if I eat that. And so, yeah, I'm in the zone. And there's that discipline that says you don't need it. It does you don't good. I love this lifestyle.
Amy says, I ate out twice last week, and even though it was carnivore, I had severe joint pain. Yes, one night was something Mexican. Today is the first day I feel better. The one night was Mexican. So, yeah, so that's interesting. So, as to what it could be,
Seed oils,
seed oils, seasonings,
seed oils, sugar in your seasonings, whatever. I've experienced that. When you go, there used to be a time, and growing up in San Antonio, being from San Antonio, I've eaten real Mexican, tons of Tex-Mex, love Mexican food. I grew up eating it. And back then, all the food was cooked with lard. They didn't know what seed oils was. But the restaurants these days, especially them up north, they're not going to use lard. They're going to use seed oils in everything. So whatever your food that you had, you may have eaten steak, fajitas, whatever, but I guarantee there was no lard.
Well, it's soaked in seed oils.
Yeah, it is. And even down here now, I believe you can find some restaurants that use lard, but most of them, they're going to use seed oils just because it's cheaper, And, okay, so we took the kids wanted pizza. And I've tried to talk to my wife about this. Hey, what? The kids eat meat centric when they're at home. Why don't we do the same thing when they're here? Everybody knows we're carnivore. When the grandkids are here, shouldn't we feed them the way we eat? They're like, I'm the grandma, and if they want treats, they're going to get treats. So she gets some Bluebell ice cream, and if they want pizza, we go to the Italian joint, we go get pizza. Well, this Italian joint that we go to, the only thing they have there that I'm willing to eat is wings. And I'll tell you right now, they're the best wings I've ever had. They're great. And I think it's because they're so stinking fatty. They're great. And they're cooked almost overcooked. There's like a blackening on them. The whatever seasoning they use turns a little black on them. And almost like a char, and they're good. They're better than any Wingstop or Hooters or anything I've ever been to, and I love them. I guarantee they're fried in seed oil, guarantee it. But it doesn't seem to affect me, and I've lived here since September, and that's the second time I've been there. So, I don't get the seed oils very often. They don't seem to affect me much. I am feeling some stiffness in my hands. If I notice anything, it's usually in my hands first, because my hands are full of arthritis. And, I've said it many times before, 41 years as a mechanic. When I retired 5 years ago, almost 6 years ago, I couldn't make a fist. That's all I could do with my hand, almost 6 years ago when I retired. I couldn't even hold on to my tools anymore. And, I can do this now. I'm stiff. Was that from the seed oils yesterday, or was that from all the work I did yesterday? Because I spent a lot of time working yesterday and the day before doing a bunch of welding and fabricating and everything. So, but I don't think those seed oils help me none. But if that's all they're affecting, it's not too bad. It's not affecting me internally other than maybe stiffening up my hands. So yeah, it could very well be the seed oils.
And so I'm kind of the same way. I occasionally come in contact with seed oils, and as far as I know, it doesn't impact me one bit. And but I don't know. Maybe that's because I still occasionally come into contact with seed oils. Maybe if I actually cut them off, which I did my first year. But so maybe if I completely cut them off, they would affect me. But I'd have such trivial amounts that I don't think it does.
That would actually be a good N of 1 experiment to do. Is do a 30-day clean out, 30 to 60-day clean out, absolutely no eating out, no seed oils, no nothing. And then go, like in my case, go down and eat some wings, have a dozen wings, and then, and not do any hard work or anything that would stiffen up my hands, and just see if my hands stiffen up. and then do another clean out and go back and do it again. And if each time I do it, my hands stiffen up on me, then I'll know what the issue is. That would be a good end of one. That's something Nick Norwood would do.
Couple things that are interesting about seed oils is, so I'm looking at a chart here, and there's a value assigned next to different types of fats, and the lower the number, the more stable it is. The higher the number, the faster the fats fall apart when subjected to heat. Okay, we're talking about cooking fats here. So coconut oil comes in as the best at only a 2. So that's coconut oil is wonderful to cook with. Beef tallow it says 5, olive oil 13, pork lard 15. Now we jump to our seed oils. Canola oil 40, sunflower oil 41, corn oil 57, and soybean oil 65. So meaning that, that's, what is that? Soybean oil is more than 30 times less stable than coconut oil. Another thing that I saw that was interesting was,
I looked at something, a label the other day. Can't remember what it was now, and the first ingredient on it was soybean oil.
Mm-hmm.
Puppy dog.
Oh,
was being raided by a dog. Dog raid.
Puppers. There's the puppers. All right. There's the daughters. All right. Let's see here. All right. So, hey, join us on the screen. We got room for 10. So I just posted the link. If you're on Rumble, you got to come over here and to YouTube or Facebook and click it. If you're on your Facebook, you should see it now. YouTube is pinned in the chat. Come join us on the screen. We would love to see you. Sandy says, "Kisses to the doggo."
And let me shout out. I think the raid was neat.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was great. I appreciate you guys doing that. I really do. That just shows you the tightness and the closeness of this community, of the carnivore community, how everybody supports each other. That was pretty neat. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, and so when we're done here, Grandma's Crochet Corner, she's got started 30 minutes ago, 9 o'clock. She alternates. Some nights she's just talking by herself, and some other nights she has a panel. So Monday nights is one where she has a panel. So when we're done here, we'll go over there and show her some love in return. That would be great. Go raid her channel. Go to do a raid and over there too. All right, very nice. Yeah, no, that was very cute. So the interesting thing that I saw the other day is, I guess there's a mouse study that was done in the 90s where they took 2 sets of mice, 2 control groups, 2 groups, and they were albino hairless mice, and they were given the exact same diet with one exception. The mice in the first group was given fat in the form of polyunsaturated fats from seed oils, and the mice in the other group were given saturated fats. And the mice in group 1 over time developed tumors and skin cancers. And they also subjected them to ultraviolet lights. So they, artificial light, ultraviolet lights. The soybean group developed skin cancers and tumors, and the other group didn't. And then after some time, they decided to switch the diets. And when they did that, the control group that had previously been getting saturated fats, and now they're getting polyunsaturated fats, they too started developing the skin cancers and the tumors. And this took place in the 90s. And that test has been repeated at least 2 more times. Once by the same group of researchers a couple years later, and then a third time by a different set of researchers. And these are researchers in China, by the way, which is no big deal. And but I thought it was very interesting because a lot of people claim that by reducing or eliminating seed oils and focusing heavily on saturated fats, that they feel like they are less prone to sunburn or sun damage. And so here's a mouse study that would kind of give some credence to that kind of claim based on the results of that mouse study. I thought that was fascinating because usually I hear about carnivores don't sunburn. It's not true. Carnivores sit out there long enough, you're going to burn. So, and then but I will say that I don't burn as much on the rest of my body. My head certainly still gets it though. I still have to wear a hat or this thing fries. So
Yeah. See how dark them arms are?
mm-hmm.
They're brown. So 3 years ago, they would have been beet red.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a burn and peel kind of guy. I'm so white I glow in the dark. And yet I don't burn like that anymore. I used to have to wear sunblock if I was going to be out in the sun for 15, 20 minutes. If I was where I used to live, it was I live 7 miles out of town. If I was going in town to do something, it's going to be, in town and back about 45 minutes. If I was on my motorcycle, I had to put sunblock on my nose and my cheeks to keep from burning. And I just don't have to do that anymore. And I'll get a little red and then it turns brown. And my daughter even noticed, she's like, Daddy, you don't turn red anymore. You just brown like a Mexican. And yeah, she's right. I don't burn like that. When we went to Alabama, okay, most people in my family don't wear shorts all the time. I wear them quite a bit. The older I get, even though I love the Texas heat, I still wear shorts when I'm not going to be doing too much work around the place. And my legs aren't extremely brown, but they are somewhat tan. And we went to Alabama, and I wore shorts every single day we was there. My wife hasn't worn shorts in years. She wore shorts, and she burnt bad and blistered. And my son, he was lobster red on his legs because he generally wears jeans all the time. And everybody who wore shorts that normally doesn't tan burnt. I wore shorts every single day, no burn whatsoever on my legs, none. And I've got just the slightest bit of brown on them. It's not much. And so I'm really surprised I didn't get at least a little bit of burn. But so it does protect us. It helps us. And one of the things, too, that protects us, I believe, is those of us that don't wear sunglasses anymore, because I'm no longer light sensitive. I haven't worn sunglasses in 3 years. And I remember reading somewhere sometime about how when we get exposed to sunlight without sunglasses on through our eyes, it turns on a melanin receptor in our bodies that helps protect us against sunlight. Is that true? I don't know. I can't tell you where I heard that. It was somewhere in the carnivore community. I want to say it was one of the carnivore doctors, but I'm not positive. But supposedly wearing sunglasses all the time will stop you from your body being able to protect you from sunburn. And so that may be an issue. Now, I don't go without my shirt very often. So if I go without my shirt, I don't want to do it too long or I will burn. But the burn won't last long and it'll turn brown pretty quick. I haven't blistered in a long time, in years. So, but I think a lot of it has to do with I don't wear sunglasses anymore. Except when I ride my motorcycle, and that's only because I don't like bugs hitting my eyeballs. They hurt.
Cutler says seed oils are rancid at the time they hit the grocery shelves. True. It's hidden by steaming, removing the stench, and chemical processing to remove free fatty acids that affect the flavor.
Yeah, they bleach it and deodorize it.
You can go watch a YouTube video on how seed oils are made, and it'll gross you out. It's gross.
Where I discovered that was Dr. Eric Steinberg. He's a holistic doctor out of Florida, ketogenic. And he had a video about how seed oils was made. This was my probably middle of time of keto, and I didn't know about it. And when he saw that, I saw that video and how they were made. I'm like, I threw away all the ranch, all the seed oil stuff away in my house. I'm like, ugh, that's it. I'm done.
You don't need that seed oil ranch when you got your recipes.
I know this was like 5 years ago. Now,
yeah. In fact, when I was eating those wings yesterday, I was thinking, man, I didn't know we were going to do this, or I'd have made some of that blue cheese dressing and brought with me to eat with those wings. Little gal there that was waiting on us, she says, you want me to bring you some ranch for those? I said, no, I'm a man. She says, okay. I said, well, girls eat ranch, men eat blue cheese. She goes, well, I can bring you some blue cheese. I said, no. Not your blue cheese, thank you. I appreciate it though.
I feel suddenly not very manly because I almost despise blue cheese. I like the blue cheese crumbles in like a burger patty, but I can't stand blue cheese dressing. Ugh.
I love blue cheese. In fact, a great steak sauce is blue cheese and butter. If you haven't put that on your steaks, you need to do it. Just blue cheese and butter.
I'll have to get some blue cheese and try that.
Yeah, you can even, if you want, you can even kind of heat it up, melt it or something, but blue cheese and butter, you can just put blue cheese crumbles and pour butter over it. Or, you can even heat it up, make kind of a sauce out of it. But blue cheese and butter is fantastic on a steak.
Donna Ray says, I have a live stream on Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. So that's whose live stream I was talking to the other day. And I think that's where the raid thing came up. So yeah, they're having her and Jerry and I think some other individuals. They're having a group. Oh, was it a pajama party or am I thinking of something else? But anyway, they're having a group.
Oh,
they're having a group.
It's a pajama party. I'm raiding that.
They're having a live stream on Friday. It's and
once a month, Juliet and Amy did that. They did those pajama parties where they get together on live stream. Everybody gets together. I think there was going to do that. Jerry and Donna Ray.
Yeah. And so anyway, yeah, Friday. So I just posted the link to her channel. Go over there, give her subscribe and give them some support on Friday evening. If you're so inclined and have the time on Friday evening, that would be awesome. So I do love how we all support each other with the like raids and the bringing attention to each other's channels and so we can see each other's stories and whatnot. Sandy says, my granddaughter had her first day today at U.S. Coast Guard Academy in Connecticut.
Congratulations.
All right. And Rodney. Hey, Rodney. Haven't heard from you in a while. How you doing, buddy? It's good to see you. Says, amazing, Jeff, about not burning anymore. All right.
Thank you, Rod.
Let's see here.
Glad to see you join us. Yeah. Who was it? Isabel Goyer mentioned that they were wearing Gary's shirts. No Slow, ones he's been making.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny, I just got the idea. He's been making all these alcohol-related shirts and soda-related shorts, carnivore shirts, which are great, by the way. I wish he was here so you could hear the compliment. But, the cleverness of those is fantastic. I love it. Well, I just came up with a new one for you if you want to do it. If anybody can tell him. All right, so I'm wearing one of my Harley Davidson shirts tonight, which I have a lot of them and I wear them all the time. And it's the typical Harley saying, live to ride, ride to live. Okay. So I was thinking he ought to come up with something for bikers that says, eat meat to live and live to ride. But I don't know what you would do with the Harley Davidson part, but
eat meat to live or live to eat meat, probably, right?
Yeah, something along that line. Yeah. You come up with something like that.
He is here in the lot. He's here.
Okay. I haven't seen him.
He said, I'm here, Yeezy. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there he is. Okay, I see you now. Yeah. Live to ride, ride to live. You're so clever, you'll come up with something.
All right. Coach Angela says that's what I and Dr. Kiltz did at the Great British Meetup. We had butter and blue cheese with our steak. All right. Linda says, I like Gorgonzola better than blue cheese, but it's hard to find.
I don't know that I've had that. I'll look for it.
Sandy says, Kelly has some awesome dressing recipes. You got to go over to Missouri Carnivore's channel to check them out.
And so I fixed your ranch. You know, I had a big wing party one day, and I did your blue cheese and your ranch. And the blue cheese, of course, was the biggest hit of the party, and I absolutely loved it. The ranch, everybody liked your ranch, but it had a bunch of dill in it. I mean, if you like dill, that ranch
Oh, I
is
love
fantastic.
dill. Oh yeah.
You know, I don't know. For some people, it might be a little too much dill. They might want to, you know, it's something that I would suggest that people add about half of what you suggested and taste it and see if they like it, you know, and if they want to add more, add more. But yeah, it's got a lot of dill. I personally thought it was great.
Kent Rollins has got me and he gave me another idea for another dressing for carnivore. Except for his he did shook candy diced jalapenos, which I would just do the jalapenos. I'm like, hey, I may have an idea with just the diced jalapenos.
I used to make we have a dip we call a cowboy dip, and what it is you take candied jalapenos and you chop them up pretty fine, and you mix them with cream cheese, and that's all it is. And my son-in-law, who cannot handle heat at all, you know, here I'm the guy over there eating ghost peppers, you know, like they're going out of style. This boy, he can't handle the mildest jalapeno. He got into that dip, and it was killing him. He had sweat running down his face, you know, and I'm like, thought you can't handle the heat. And this wasn't hot to me, you know, it was just a sweet hot. And he's like, it's killing me, but I love it. It's addictive. I can't quit. Yeah, those candied jalapenos, I stay away from them. Oh man, they are so good. Can't do them sweets no more. Got to get back into that zone there. Got to get in that Zen moment. Can't do the sweet stuff.
Jerry says, yeah, buddy, this Friday, July 3rd is the Jammy Party on my channel, 6 p.m. Central, 7 Eastern. In the middle of a forest is my YouTube channel. So yeah, you can reach it on. They're going to be, they're like StreamYard. So you can go to anybody's channel you want. So you'll be able to view it from all those channels. And probably jump in and restream too, if you like. All right. That's this Friday here. Yeah, let's see here. I don't ever have any sweet cravings anymore, so that just doesn't happen. It's not that I'm completely, avoid or never had it. I chew gum on occasion. If that's like probably the sweetest thing that I ever goes in my mouth now is of chewing on a piece of gum. And but I'll chew on a piece of gum over having a cake. So let's see here. I occasionally make Kiltz's ice cream, but I haven't made that in probably getting close to a year. I haven't made ice cream since last summer.
Yeah, I haven't either. I've been thinking about it, but I haven't done it.
Yeah, Scooby the dog also likes Gorgonzola. And my cheese store has one from raw sheep's milk. That was another thing interesting thing that I read today was that in the past, when babies couldn't handle cow's milk, instead of just labeling them lactose intolerant, they would give them like goat's milk instead, and they were able to drink that. So but now they're just like, oh, lactose intolerant, can't have any. But in the past, they could just switch the animal, and they usually do okay with it. I mentioned earlier that I was going to share a couple articles. Let me bring those up on the screen. So you're talking about food trends. This is kind of what brought on the topic. And this was interesting. This one is from Food and Wine. Let me share the screen. There it is. All right. So let me hide the comment. This is from foodandwine.com. Food trends for 2026 from the experts. And you can ignore this headline here about fiber maxing. but it says, from gut health and GLP-1 buzz to sensory snack solo meals and the return of real meat. And that's what it brings out down here. Has real meat is back on the menu. Along with every other publication on earth, Food and Wine has been hyping the rise of plant-based meats for the better part of a decade, but consumers are bucking all that and turning back to anti-fake meat. As the TasteWise 2026 trend calls it, the growth of protein is not just about quantity, it's about quality and authenticity, explains the report. Consumers are turning away from fakeness and ultra-processed substitutes, seeking foods that feel simple, transparent, and true to their origins. So I think that's probably has a lot to do with the carnivore movement. So plant-based burgers are out, real burgers are in. And then let's see here. The second article I thought was interesting to us, or that had some interesting content. Obviously, not that entire article is interesting because it talks about fiber and all that other stuff. But I thought it was interesting about meat making a comeback. And this is not the easiest thing to share a screen on here. All right. Here we go. Here's another one. This one's at Whole Foods Market, like the store, Whole Foods. The next big things are top food trends predictions for 2026. And the number one here is tallow takeover. From whipped to herb-infused varieties, beef tallow is making a comeback as a nourishing and nostalgic fat. Once a staple in traditional cooking and prized for its high smoke point and rich flavor, tallow is being rediscovered by consumers who value ancestral ingredients and are looking for oil alternatives. This old school fat is having a moment on social media, though it's actually been used for centuries for frying and baking. Restaurants have also been trading in traditional oils for tallow to elevate everything from French fries to, pastries. As far as customers supporting nose to tail use of the animal, these following brands provide usage for fat that's normally discarded, and we don't need to read those. But I thought those were two interesting news segments. When I prepare for tonight, I'm like, what is trending? What's trending in the keto carnivore world? That's kind of what I look up. And those were the top two articles that kind of popped up as here's what's currently trending. The return of tallow and the return of red meat as being socially acceptable, popular, and desired compared to their seed oil or fake meat counterparts. So
I don't know who can eat that fake stuff. I tried that like 16 years ago, and I thought it was the most disgusting thing out there. I spit it right back out.
And would that be why the whole reason why it's failing is just because of the taste? I've never tasted it. We was going to do that one time when Burger King came out with that fake burger.
The Impossible Burger.
Impossible Burger. Me and the wife wanted to go and buy one of each and do a blind taste test. And because we just get a kick out of doing that once in a while. We did that with Kerrygold butter. We'll do a blind taste test. And but the thing was, we didn't have no Burger Kings anywhere near us. We couldn't just go get the burgers. We was going to have to go all the way into Fort Worth to go get a burger. We wasn't going to do that. So we never got it done. But, I would think that the reason why people are turning away is because it just isn't any good.
It was disgusting.
People who live to eat, they want flavor. They want something that tastes good. And even today, people sit there and talk about McDonald's fries that used to be fried in tallow. McDonald's fries had this reputation of being the absolute best fries around, and it was because they were fried in tallow. And now they're not fried in tallow anymore, and people still think that they're good fries, but they don't rave on them like they used to. And they don't think they're as good as they used to be.
They used to be like almost a one ingredient, and now there's like 19 different ingredients, and they put some kind of beef flavor in just to make it taste like they were in tallow.
Right. And, and even stores like, I think the first one I heard of to jump on the tallow bandwagon was Buffalo Wings. And not Buffalo Wings. Is that the wing store, Buffalo something or other, or something Buffalo? Anyhow,
Buffalo wings,
yeah, I guess that's it.
or Buffalo Wild Wings. something
Buffalo,
like
that's it. Buffalo Wild Wings. They, they supposedly switched over to tallow, but I found out later on that they're actually using a combination tallow and canola oil. They just added tallow to their canola oil, so it's still not any good. But a lot of people are jumping on that bandwagon, and what it reminds me of is every time there is a new fad, the food manufacturers jump on that fad and they're still feeding you the same crap, but they've added labeling. When the sugar-free fad was going on, you had all this stuff that was labeled sugar-free. I'm surprised you didn't see it on your meat packages, sugar-free. When the low-fat craze was going on, everything was low-fat. You know, you would have candy labeled low fat. Sugar, you'd have cereal labeled low fat. You know, so they get on these crazes. And right now we have a craze going on protein. Everything you see now is protein. It has protein in it. You'll see breads. You'll see potato chips.
Doritos, yeah, protein.
Doritos has protein in it. You know, they're adding protein. And what they're doing is you've got people out there that are so gullible. And I was one of them. I did the Atkins foods. I was one of the gullible. You know, they look at the carb-free tortillas, the carb-free breads, and they think they're eating something healthy when they're not. They're still eating the same junk, just cooked a different way. And so, you know, when I see French fries cooked in tallow, great, you're still eating French fries. You're still eating junk. You're not eating real food. You know, so I look at that as the food manufacturers are just jumping on the latest trend, and eventually it'll go by the wayside as all the others do.
Another trend is to remove the red dye from stuff. So they call it naked Doritos, naked Cheetos, where they don't have the red coloring.
Remove that. But while you're at it, remove the corn, remove the sugars, you don't have anything left. Mm-hmm. Stop eating the junk. I don't care what they remove from it. It's still junk. You know, if I remove the smell from dog poop, it's still dog poop. I mean, that's the most graphic way I can think of it.
It
may not smell like it could smell like steak, but it's still dog poop. You know, Doritos that don't have red dye number 3 in it is still dog poop.
Going to the comments here, No Slow said, I want to make a shirt for Jeff using his caricature riding a tractor that raids. It ain't easy being geezy.
and I cracked up. I love that. That's fantastic. I guess he saw my video where I was out mowing pastures. That was that would be funny.
One. Yeah.
It ain't easy being geezy.
Rodney said, do you all ever eat Braunschweiger, liverwurst, and if so, straight up or what?
Do I?
No.
I do, because I make my own. I don't eat the stuff in the store. Look at the ingredients. If you can handle what's in the ingredients, that's fine. I don't do it. I make my own, because I keep the liver from the all the animals that I raise and butcher, and all the animals that I hunt. I save the liver from them, and so I make my own liverwurst. And Braunschweiger and liverwurst are two different things, just to let you know. So Braunschweiger is smoked, liverwurst is boiled. So that's the difference between the two. But I make my own liverwurst. And Rodney, if you ever want, I'll give you the recipe for it. In fact, I've got the recipe posted on, I believe, Kiltz's Tribe. In fact, I got it from Kiltz's Tribe. I got it from Patty on Kiltz's Tribe. Wonderful lady. Haven't seen her in a while. But it's her recipe, and I've modified it more for me. And then I've also got it posted over on carnivoretalk.com. But Rodney, you got my number. Anytime you want the recipe, just let me know and I'll give it to you. I think I posted it on here one night.
He also says, I used to eat something called a garden burger from the health food store before I knew better. It's amazing how we have been so programmed. So yeah, so did I.
True.
Like, you know, I went through my phases where I thought, you know, there's a certain idealism about trying to be vegetarian, but I could never commit. But I'd try from time to time, and I bought Boca burgers, that are basically like black bean and corn, and I mean they were okay. And then the Impossible Burger I never got at a store, but I did get the Impossible Whopper, and when I ate it, I was like, yeah, it pretty much tastes like just like a regular Whopper. But also, you got to remember it had mayonnaise and tomato and lettuce and cheese and all the bun and everything else too. So it was 90% just like the other Whopper. The only thing was I swapped out was the meat. So, but yeah, I don't even know if they sell those anymore. Did Impossible Burger, isn't one of those companies that have gone bankrupt?
I have no, probably, I don't know. People are still going to eat what people are going to eat what tastes good to them.
Right.
I mean, in reality, we wouldn't be eating the way we ate if we didn't like it.
True.
We like meat. We're here because we like it. And I've always liked meat over anything else. And that's
I always was a
absolute
meat
truth.
eater. Even
Pardon?
growing up, I was always
Oh, yeah.
a meat eater.
I've always said I was born a carnivore. I had a vegetarian dog because I fed her all my vegetables under the table. Poor dachshund. I didn't know the damage I was doing to that poor thing.
All right. Latro says if the fake meat contains soy, it will disrupt hormones. Bad.
And that's
for
exactly why I stay away from soy of all kinds.
women. Yeah.
It raises estrogen levels in men, or so I've read.
All right. Let's see here. I tried the Impossible Whopper back in the day, and it had a really bad aftertaste. Never ate it again. And Scooby the Dog says, I don't know. I think potatoes fried in tallow could be considered a healthy food. I wouldn't trust Mickey D's or any restaurant, but made at home, that'd be okay. It wouldn't necessarily be like wicked, bad, evil kind of thing, but it would, it'd be filler food. That's
It's
I mean,
one of those things.
kind of what a potato is. It's like just filler.
It's less bad.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean it's good, but it's less bad. So yeah, if I had to eat fries, if I was starving to death, I had to eat fries and I had a choice between fried in tallow, fried in seed oils, I would eat the tallow. But as long as I don't have to eat anything like that, I'm not going to eat it because it does not provide any nutrition for my body. It does me no good.
No,
If I was going to eat fries, I'm going to do the whole potato, and I'm going to cut the potato instead of buying them frozen, because you never know how many ingredients in the frozen. But if I had my choice, I would just do a potato fry, cut it up in fries and fry it in tallow. But other than that, I'll just throw that potato out because I don't care anymore about potatoes.
Yeah, I don't regularly eat potatoes because I'm a low carber by nature. I'm not anti-potato, but I'm not going to make a habit out of eating them. If we go out for our seafood boil, which usually comes with a couple potatoes in it, I sometimes will have a potato. So, but that's, again, my carnivore diet will allow for the occasional fruitage here and there. So
yeah, when I had my garden, I grew my own potatoes.
Mhm.
I grew 2 different varieties of potatoes.
it's kind of like, if you had a potato, is it going to hurt you? No. If you had a couple potatoes every day, would the potatoes eventually hurt you? Yes. So, you gotta remember that. Like, the plants are trying to kill you. They're not going to kill you after one bite.
It goes back to whole foods.
Mm-hmm.
You make your choices on what you're going to eat. And like I was telling a friend of mine today, I don't tell everybody they got to eat the way I eat. I choose to eat this way because I look at it as, is this food nutritious for my body? Is it providing benefit for my body? If the answer is no, then I have no business eating it. I don't want to eat it. I only want to eat what is going to provide benefits for my body. And so, but what I tell people and what we tell people mostly as a community is cut out the sugar, cut out the processed foods, cut out the seed oils. That's the 3 main things right there. If you're going to eat vegetables, fine, eat vegetables. Just don't eat them with a lot of junk. You know, you want a salad, eat a salad with some good fruit oil on it, but don't eat it with seed oils dressings on it. You know, if you want to eat vegetables. Keep them as clean as you can, but make sure they're whole and fresh. You know, and I would personally stay away from starchy vegetables. Stick more with the green leafy stuff, even though there's oxalates in it. You know, that's the healthier way to eat. After all, we are an elimination diet. Eliminate the bad stuff, eat the less bad stuff.
Cutler says BW3 fries their traditional wings and tenders in seed oil free tallow. However, that tallow is steamed to remove odor, flavor, and has BHT and synthetic anti-foaming agents. So,
Okay, I don't know. Is that good, bad, or indifferent, or does it matter?
I'm sure opinions vary on that. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's not pure tallow. That's the point. It's tampered with tallow,
Or it's an adulterated tallow?
yeah. But it's not mixed with seed oils, so it is seed oil free.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
you know, I haven't researched it myself. It was on here that somebody had mentioned when we talked about wild wings before. Somebody had mentioned that they were cut with canola oil.
Mhm.
You hear all kinds of things.
Yeah. Latcher likes a wing now and then. We'll eat BW3. I'll eat BW3. I have no problem with wings. I go out for wings. Actually, we go out to wings probably once a month. It'll be either at open mic night or down here at the Wing Warehouse. And at both places I know cooking seed oil. So it is what it
Well,
is.
I know the wings I do at the house in my air fryer. They're pretty good. I like them just fine.
Even Aldi's just started selling beef tallow. Yeah, I can get beef tallow at the stores. Yeah, I've get it at Meijer. I'd like to see a big vat of it up at the Sam's Club.
I find it at Costco's, Wally World. I can find it just about anywhere. I can buy big deals of bacon grease at Wally World. I can find lard, but I look at the prices, you know, and I just go ahead and make my own. You know, if I don't have anything to butcher, then I'll go to the butcher shop and buy beef fat from them, trimmings, and I'll make my own tallow. But more often than not, I got a bunch in the freezer over here right now. When I have one of my steers butchered, I tell them, any fat that doesn't go in the hamburger, I want it back. Don't you keep my fat. I want that fat back. And I keep all the fat that comes off it. I want all the suet, all the trimmings, all the fat, and bag it up. And I've got it in my freezer right now. And I'll make, my gosh, I'll probably fill up 10 to 15 mason jars with tallow. You know, I'll spend a day just making tallow. And that'll last me a long time because I'll go ahead and freeze it all and just one jar out at a time. And of course, I save all my bacon fat. And this has been the beauty, the absolute wonderful thing about my air fryer is if I cook bacon in it, I can save every bit of that grease so easy because it all collects in that tub. Any meat that I cook in there, it saves that grease. I pour it right back over the steak or the hamburger, you know, so it's used as a sauce. Man, I love that air fryer. I don't know why I didn't get one sooner.
Now I know there's one fast food chain that just transitioned 30 days ago to 100% tallow. That's Steak and Shake.
Really?
Yeah, I saw in the news that they were switching over to tallow. Yep.
Yes, they even you can actually purchase, you know, because the Steak and Shake is cooking their fries, tater tots, and onion rings and 100% pure beef tallow, eliminating the use of seed oils and these fried items. The chain also sells its own jars of pure 100% grass-fed and Wagyu beef tallow directly to consumers for home cooking. I remember going to work because there's a Steak and Shake around the corner where I come through, and I noticed that it said, we sell Wagyu beef tallow.
Yeah. And still, they're frying dog poop and tallow. Just my opinion, for what it's worth. Not worth much.
Rodney was saying that here in the epicenter of Cajun Islands, Louisiana, crawfish boils come with a little potato and a little corn on the cob and an onion. That's the typical seafood boil. We got the corn on the cob. I never touch it because it's nasty. You can tell it was frozen and it's all mushy. But like I said, if I eat my seafood and I'm still feeling like a little hungry, I'll eat a potato. So
we do here in Texas during crawfish season. We'll do 1 or 2 boils a year here. Me and my son-in-law, we've got a big cooker, and one of the things I do, and we'll do the corn, we'll do the potatoes. That's for everybody else. It ain't for me. I love crawfish. But one of the things I do for all you carnivore, if y'all want to do this, it works and it works well. We will boil up a couple of dozen eggs and peel them. And then we will put those eggs in the slurry, with all the seasoning and everything. And them eggs soak up all that seasoning. And then we don't eat the eggs right there. We save those eggs and we'll eat on them for the next couple of weeks. They are so stinking good. My gosh, they're good.
all right. Papa Carnivore is here. Says he's driving home from Orlando where he saw the Healing Humanity movie. It was amazing. Okay. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. So that's been.
I hope to see it someday.
That project's been in the works as long as I've been a carnivore. It's like 3 years now. So I'm excited that it's finally coming to fruition. So, all right. Air fryers are carnivore's greatest friend. And yes, definitely pour the grease on your meat. We use parchment paper liners. Yeah. So it depends what I'm cooking. I use the parchment paper liners too, so I don't have to. Sometimes it's easier to clean up depending on what I'm making in the air fryer. I don't air fry a lot though.
I haven't been using the parchment paper liners, but I'm not the one that cleans up, so it's no big deal to me. Me and my bride have an agreement. I do the cooking, she does the cleaning, and that suits me just fine.
Yeah, sometimes I've made I've made meatballs with little cheese cubes in the middle of them. I put them on the liner and in the air fryer. But whenever I use a liner, the problem with the liner is it doesn't cook the bottom. You have to take it out and rotate everything and put it back in and run it some more to get that even cook. Whereas if you don't use the liner, it should be on this tray that kind of lifts it up, allows the air to circulate underneath it, and gives it a crisp all the way around.
I still rotate everything.
Mm-hmm.
Even without the liner, I still rotate it.
All right. All tallow in a jar is not made equal. A lot of them don't turn solid when at room temperature, so they might not be as good as homemade tallow.
So what's the label?
I never keep mine at room temperature, so I don't know. I keep mine in the fridge.
Mine stays the jar we're using at the time stays at room temp because it'll keep for a long time. But it's my tallow that I make and it stays solid.
Okay, interesting.
The rest of it I keep in the freezer just because I have no idea how long it's going to take before I use it.
I'll have to set my tallow out and see if it stays solid or if it turns to liquid. I would expect it to stay solid. My butter stays solid. It gets soft, but it stays solid.
Yeah, same here.
I mean, I have tallow in a bucket pail that I bought from Brookshire, and it's soft, but it's solid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I shouldn't be refrigerating it. I do know it's hard to get out. Like you have to take a knife and cut yourself a chunk of tallow out because it's been in the fridge, so it's pretty stiff.
Yeah, mine's not soft by any means. Mine's like wax. Even sitting out on the counter all the time. I have to get a spoon and dig it out.
All right, very good. It's 10:14. We're scheduled till 10:30. Unless we choose to go over, but I'm going to post the link one more time. You can come join us on screen and talk to us face to face. It's a lot of fun. We highly recommend it. But you can click that link whether you're on YouTube or Facebook. Sorry, Rumble folks. I don't think anything goes over to there. But we'd love to see you over here.
Linda McDaniel wanted to remind me. She said, "Geezy dog poop is organic too." I appreciate that.
All natural.
Rick uses it to make strawberry poop gas.
There you go. It's all usable.
Rodney keeps his tallow in the fridge. It can be very hard to get out. Yeah. So let's see here. Our Soul Steak and Shake location at the University of Arizona closed before they switched their frying fat to tallow. That's interesting. Yeah, we have steak and shakes around here. I haven't been to one in ages. I don't even think it'd be a point in me going to one as a carnivore.
They made a show in here in Texas. I went to one a couple of times. I thought they was pretty good back. That was back when I ate that kind of food. I thought they were pretty good.
Yeah, I liked them back when I ate that kind of food. Does anyone use ghee? I find it expensive compared to tallow or butter. I'll buy ghee once in a while. Yep.
I have, but yeah, it is expensive.
Mm-hmm. It's like butter max. It's butter to the max.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like clarified butter.
Ghee is better for you than butter, in my opinion, just because it's pure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll get ghee. Sometimes I'll get ghee. I'll get duck fat. I got a jar of duck fat one time and cooked with it. I got coconut oil one time. I'm glad it's gone. I don't really care for the taste of coconut, and that made everything I cooked taste like coconut. So when it was gone, it was gone. It stays gone. I'm not going to get coconut oil again. I'm not a coconut flavor fan by any means.
I made, because I wouldn't do it again, but I made some poke one time. I go fishing for tuna once in a while, and I caught some nice tuna. And so I made some fresh tuna poke, and that's, of course, raw. And instead of just eating it like with noodles like you normally would, I took wontons, cut them 4 ways like tortilla chips, and I deep fried them in coconut oil. And I'm going to tell you what, that was so addictive because you got that flavor of that coconut in that wonton with that raw tuna, and everything. Man, talk about good. I hurt myself that day. I hurt myself eating.
Bill says I may someday try tallowed fries, plus heard they went with grass-fed beef. So, yeah, I ate too. It's it's not like I'll never ever put a French fry up against my lips for the rest of my life or something. But just lifestyle. Since my lifestyle is not one attuned to regular potato consumption. So.
Right.
All right. Some coconut oil is neutral in taste. My best oil is from the Philippines, and it does have some taste, not recommended for eggs. And Rodney says
sometimes it's just a matter of getting used to it.
The coconut oil?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I could. But I've always been that way. I don't like pina colada. I never liked like a Mounds or an Almond Joy. If coconut was like a primary flavor in whatever the product was, I couldn't stand it.
Well, I know when we first thought we were trying to eat healthy years ago, we quit using margarine for cooking and whatnot, and the wife started using extra virgin olive oil. And man, first few times I ate eggs cooked in that, I couldn't stand it. It just tasted nasty to me. And eventually I got used to it to where I don't even notice it anymore. I don't use it anymore, but back then I got to the point where I didn't notice it anymore.
Ben Azadi. claims that a regular fry is as damaging as a cigarette. One fry to one cigarette. You know,
Well,
some things
I
don't
wouldn't
even
smoke-
have the ring of truth to it. And if that's what he means, you know, like an extra large fry and a cigarette, maybe, but one fry to one cigarette, no, that wouldn't be.
Well, I assume if you smoke it, it's going to be just as bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you burn it and inhale the smoke, yeah, it's probably going to be bad. No, so I mean I understand the point he's trying to make, but the sentence on its face value is just absolutely not true. Here's another thing that we hear a lot. So we hear a lot of old wives' tales and rumors. Okay, so like the estrogen and the soy thing, I think there's some nuance there. Like you'd have to consume a heck of a lot of soy regularly, daily, as part of your diet or lifestyle to see any kind of damaging effects like that. You couldn't just have a soy product and then poof, you've got man boobs. I mean that's not going to happen.
Correct.
Here's another one that's very popular. Not true at all. I often talk about how I use stevia as my preferred sweetener. I put a little stevia in my tea, put a little stevia in my Killis's ice cream. A lot of people like allulose. Allulose gives me trouble. I use stevia. Well, there's a popular rumor that goes around that says that ancient cultures or other cultures use stevia as a contraception to make men infertile.
Never heard that one.
There's not an ounce of truth to that whatsoever. But I hear it when I talk about stevia. I'll get messages about that, like, oh, stevia will make you infertile. No, it won't. And I'm 50 and don't care anyway. But
I'm like, I'll be 48 next month. I don't care. I'm not planning on having any more kids unless God says otherwise in the future.
Well,
Yeah.
you remember what was it? Was it not sucralose? What was the sweetener that Tab used or something when it first came out?
NutraSweet?
Huh?
Was it NutraSweet?
No, it goes even farther
Saccharin?
back than that.
Is it saccharin?
Saccharin. That's it.
Okay.
That's it. Remember that one? Oh, that caused cancer in mice.
Mm-hmm.
But the amount that they had to use to get that cancer to show up was like so astronomically high that no human being was ever going to ingest that much in one day,
Mm-hmm.
in 1 month or 1 year. So yeah, you're right. You have these nuances, but like when it comes to the soy, you're 100% correct. Where the problem comes in is when you consume it every single day. And when you look at your products out there, your fast food, your what am I trying to say? The highly processed foods.
Yeah, I know where you're going with it.
So many of it has soybean oil in it that you are consuming, or soy. Like I said one time, I picked up a package of my favorite store-bought chorizo, looked at the ingredients, and it had soy grits in it. What are soy grits doing in chorizo? It's absurd, And so when you grow up in an era where everything you eat has soy in it, I believe it can have a damaging effect to your hormonal system as a male. This is why we have the term soy boys. You look at the male population today, there's a reason why they act the way they act. And it ain't just because so many of them are growing up without fathers to guide and lead them. I think it has a lot to do with what they're eating. And soy could very well be, the end product to their behavior.
That is a good point. That isn't everything. Like, I've seen, I can go down to the store and one of the brands of pork rinds, you turn it over, it says pork skins, soybean oil.
Right. That's why I buy Max. I've done the research. Max, I don't know if you have them in your area, but Max is fried in its own lard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have them right at Walmart. I can go to Dollar General. Now, I can go to Dollar General and get the small bag. I like the small bag of Max, but some reason I'm not a big fan of the larger bag of Max, but I do like the Max cracklins. Those are good.
My wife loves the cracklins. They're a little hard on my teeth, but I get the big bags, big party bags, because we go through a lot of them. I probably got 4 of them big party bags in the house right now. But I use them, I make my own pork panko, for poffles or for breading or whatnot. So yeah, I like my Max. I don't eat them like chips because they're bland. I don't get the seasoned ones. Never get the seasoned ones. The seasoned ones have junk in them. They'll have sugars. They'll have hidden sugars. Natural flavorings. I don't get those. I get just the plain ones. I'll even add my own salt to them. But the only way I use them as chips would be if I make nachos.
That's the way I do mine.
Yeah.
Now, there's only one brand that I will eat them like chips, and it's called the 4505 Chicharrones. That's the only ones I will eat plain, and I will eat the flavored ones because it has clean, safe ingredients. Except for the chili ones, it's got sugar. I won't touch that one, but the other ones, I will eat that. But I will eat those because of some reason. But the rest of them, I won't eat them as chips because they're just so bland. If I do season, if I get where I want to season, I'll do it myself.
Yeah,
I do the same thing. I like to take pork rinds, put them in a Ziploc bag, and I can put my own seasoning in there, like my Badia seasoning. That's basically like a garlic and onion powder and salt, and then you can shake them up real good.
There you go.
Get them out of your bag, and I like that. I will eat flavored pork rinds though, depending on the brand. Like I do like chili lime flavored pork rinds if I'm looking for something a little zesty and sour. And then
you just got to read the label and be
barbecue
willing
depends on the brand. Some barbecue, can be. It depends on what they're using to give it that artificial barbecue flavor.
Yeah, as much as I like the Max brand, when I look at their seasonings, what they put in it, I'm not willing to eat it. That's my choice. I'm not saying anybody else. I'm just warning people. Read your labels and decide for yourself whether you're willing to put this into your body or not. But yeah. Pork rinds is good stuff, man.
Ken says, per Google AI, be Google Gemini, take it for what it's worth. It says beef tallow should be completely solid at room temperature, below 75 degrees. It begins its melting phase and softens at around 90 to 95. All right. So I should be able to set it out and it'd be fine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna set it out. I'll set it out before I go to bed tonight.
If it's getting 90 to 95 in my house,
there's problems.
We're calling out a repairman. There's something wrong with my air conditioner. I'll handle it, but my wife will not handle it. Now, you were talking about cracklings earlier. I've made my own cracklings, and they come out pretty good. I used to buy slabs of bacon, and the bacon I would buy at the butcher shop would, when I'm making my own bacon, would have the skin on it. And so I'd have to fillet that skin off the slab of bacon. And it's like, well, what are you going to do with this skin? I'm making cracklings. So I slice it up and I deep fry it in its own lard. And it's good. But I'm going to tell you what, making cracklings is work.
I missed that when I was younger. I was a kid. My grandfather was alive. When they butchered their own hogs, they cooked their own crackling because they rendered their own lard.
You don't waste nothing on the hog except the squeal. Everything gets taken care of.
Except the squeal.
Except the squeal. Yep. You bet. I'll tell you what, if you've never been to a hog butcher, and it's something to experience. It really is.
I've been there. When I was younger, I had trail rides. They used to do, buy two hogs, and they always butchered or 2 or 3 hogs. I remember butchering before the big trail ride.
And it's a big either family or community affair. If you could ever experience one, it's an amazing thing because everybody comes together because it has to. It's so much work because you're gonna kill the hog, and you're going to dip that hog. You're going to scald him. Because then you're going to pull him up on the rack and everybody gets the scrapers out and you got to scrape the hides down, get all the hair and everything off of them, and then you get to start dismantling them. And of course you're going to put away your hams and your bacon and everything. You're going to salt everything down. These goes into the smokehouses and gets put in the salt tubs to start curing out. It's a tremendous process. It really is, but it's a lot of work.
I remember watching it when I was a kid. My grandfather had it up at his shack. He had the trough where you scald the hogs to get the hair off, where he lifted up with the tractor. He had the joint, they scrape it down, gut it, cut the head off, and start processing it.
Yep. Yeah. It's like I said, it's a cool thing to experience. It really is.
Latro says the problem with youth today is they aren't allowed to play with fireworks and have mini bikes as youngsters.
Well, I love fireworks, but I'm somewhat anti-fireworks living out in the country. I hate it when people around me start popping fireworks. One grass is too tall and sets a fire around here, I could lose my whole place.
Yeah, that's a valid concern. Around here is usually illegal. You're not supposed to start off your own fireworks.
Out in the city limits, it is here, even though some people will still cheat. But out in the country, it's perfectly legal.
Yeah, my brother's, when he used to live out in like the Boardman area, Boardman, Austintown, and it was completely different. We went over there on a 4th of July and swam in his pool. And I mean, just as it started to get dusk, because it wasn't even night yet, people in his neighborhood started setting them off. And like, we didn't have to go anywhere to see fireworks that year. We could just lay on the raft in the pool and just keep looking up. And we were treated to a show just there from all the people who were setting them off in their own yards. It was pretty interesting because around where I live, you gotta sneak and set them off, and then make sure the police don't show up because you're not supposed to be setting them off. So
yeah, well, we'll do like more than likely 4th of July. We'll probably get my son-in-law's boat, and we'll go out on Lake Granbury. We like to get out there and watch them out in the boat. That's usually what we do every year.
On our local Facebook group, usually you see a lot of people complaining because a lot of dogs don't take well to the sound of fireworks. They get scared. So people will get upset to go to Facebook, to the local community group, and start complaining about the fireworks going off.
For those that have that issue, give your dog some Benadryl and put a thunder vest on them, a compression vest, and see if that helps. That's just advice that I've seen. Now, I had a Catahoula leopard dog that she was scared of gunfire, thunder, fireworks. And, I just made her tough it out. She'll live. She got to learn to be tough. And, but this border collie I got now, she barks at it. She defends the property from fireworks and from thunder. Every time there's a lightning storm, thunderstorm, she's barking at that. Every time it barks, she runs out in the yard. Every time it thunders, she runs out in that yard and barks at it. By golly, she ain't letting nothing come near us. She's going to protect us at all costs. It's something to see.
That's funny. Mine barks at train horns and ambulances. So if a train goes off in the distance, she runs around the yard wooing at the train. So, and the ambulance will get her all worked up. An ambulance goes on the street, but she's afraid of motorcycles. She hates the sound of a loud motorcycle engine. So that'll send her running.
All right. I'm going to head off of here. I'm about to fall asleep here.
All right, Kelly.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
You too, Kelly. We'll see you next time.
Good night, sir.
Good night.
Yeah, and we'll probably sign off here shortly too. Cranky Carnivore Cutler said tallow that has been used for cooking and allowed to slowly solidify at room temp will typically be softer than the solidified in a cold temp. So it'd be softer if it had let it set out the whole time. Harden at room temperature versus force chilling it. Accelerate the cooling down of the tallow. So that could
technically tallow is already cooked.
Yeah,
because that's how you make tallow. It's by cooking down the fat, slowly cooking it down, and rendering it out of the fat.
Let's see here. When I was a lad, my brother and I and the two similar age neighborhood boys used to hold firecrackers while they exploded. The seekers hold them so tightly that they barely stay in the thumb and index tips. It feels like getting smashed by a hammer.
Yeah, I
All
did
right,
that once.
Don't try this at home, folks.
I did it once by accident. Fast fuse. It didn't feel like no hammer to me. It hurt. I had to soak my hands in ice water. It hurt bad. Yeah, I saw where Latro said he had a Catahoula leopard dog. They're cool dogs, cool hounds. They really are. I used mine for hunting hogs. She was my tracker, and then my bulldog, my pit bull was the catch dog.
I'm looking it up on the internet. Oh, do they have those stunning blue eyes?
Yes, well, they'll have what we call a glass eye.
Uh-huh.
Mine had one glass eye and one brown eye.
Yeah. All right. That's a good looking dog.
Yeah, they're hounds. They've got a funny bark. If you ever heard a hound bark, instead of just a sharp bark, it's more of a arr, arr. They're cool dogs.
You're in Ohio, correct, Bob? That is correct. So I'm between Kent and Akron. So up here in Northeast Ohio, 45 minutes south of Cleveland, just east of Akron, west of Kent. So
He's a Buckeye.
that is correct. He had a Great Pyrenees. All right. And Jerry says, and this is actually correct. It's about time for a grandma's crochet corner raid, gentlemen. So, all right, I agree with that. And you know what? Let's do that now. But let's sign off. So it's 10:30. That's our we're scheduled to that time. So I think I'm ready to close it because I'm getting tired too. And so yeah, I think that's a great idea. So all of you in the chat. Thanks for joining us and keeping the conversation flowing. Everyone that joined us on screen, which to try and recall from my memory, we had Jeff, we had John Laspina, Carnivore Teacher Alpha, we had Kurt, and then we had Desiree, and we had Kelly, and is that everybody? Was it just the five and myself? Is it just the six of us today? Am I missing anybody? Jeff, John Laspina, Desiree, and Kelly, and Kurt. I think that's everyone.
That's it.
I think that's everyone who joined us on screen. All right. Very good. Well, thank you for all of that. It was another good Monday night discussion, and I look forward to seeing you all again next Monday, and of course over on carnivoretalk.com forums between now and then. We love you all. Continue with your health journey, and we wish you success, and we wish you a good night.
Good night, y'all.